Welcome to the hustle. If your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle, this is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. Under pressure, never break or fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now welcome to the hustle. Yeah. Hustle, hustle, yeah. Hustle, hustle, yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Hustle Podcast. We are keeping it going. As I said last week, we have momentum on our motherfucking side, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't know, now you know. Of course, I'm Tech Luciano. I got my co-host Basics in the building. What's going on, Base? How you feeling, brother?
What it do, man? I'm outside. I'm excited. It's summertime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Good music is playing. Speaking of playing, go check out my latest single, Play.
I was gonna set you up with it, but you took it away. But it's okay. I'll let you do your thing.
I took it away because I ain't got no time
to
play.
Take it away.
You
now.
know what I'm saying? Pushing my buttons like a PlayStation. I'm the greatest. I'm a playwright. Should I keep going with the play stuff?
Get the boo section ready.
It's funny because you know the whole
playing.
like play bars, a scheme on the word play because of my single Play, a scheme, and also somebody rapping something and then saying keep it going. It's very battle rap. You know, and that's no coincidence.
I see what
trying
you're doing.
To make that kind of a joke and that kind of a, there's a method to the madness,
a little
people.
bit
Just
of a
pay
method.
attention to what we've been doing, and you're gonna see there's levels to this whole thing. Shout out to Steve, by the way, who's been setting us up, making us look incredible, turning the lights on.
Yeah.
Holy.
And there was
That was like a we need an edit moment of your setup after.
Is it?
You guys
Usually
are gonna
there's
see in
right
the
in here?
future. What was the whole situation you were explaining? The Jamie?
Yeah, the young Jamie situation, man. We basically we're gonna have our esteemed producer / fournisseur Steve. You know what I mean? Stavros,
Director.
freaky Tadziki. He's gonna have his own little post over there. So anytime we need to fact check somebody, anytime we need to pull up somebody's numbers, because I don't necessarily think they're doing the numbers they say they're doing, we can now do it in real time.
Saucy.
I can't wait.
I like that.
I
You're
can't
getting
wait.
saucy.
A little bit.
You're talking spicy.
Yep.
Talk to him nicely is how I'm going to introduce our special guest today. You like how I did that? Yo, listen, man, this guy's been on the scene for a long time. I've known him for over a decade, working hard through the years from the bottom of a huge battle rap like league. He was like the first guy in like the first event in the first battle. Yeah. You know what I mean? And from there, this guy's gone in different countries, Europe and North America cities, battling in French and in English, 2 languages, tearing it up. Also dropping verses on Raccoon's album, like on Craven's Beat, all kinds of different stuff, man. And also doing crazy in his actual personal life, which we might get into. He's getting to the bag in many different ways,
We're
bro.
trying.
You know what I'm saying?
We're trying.
Mr. Nice Watch, my bro, Krome is in the fucking building, bro. Yo, thanks for being with us, fam.
Thanks for having me, man.
You know what I mean? What did you think of that intro, though?
Yo, that was a.
I
honestly,
never talked
was a
that nice about you in our
intro.
whole
Yeah,
life, bro. I
like-
should have started
I was
with the
like, yo, I wonder
ops.
how he's gonna introduce
Like,
me.
straight up.
Crazy. I would have liked if you mentioned I'm better than you at basketball, but aside from that, it was fucking. It was flawless. That shit was flawless. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Should have talked about how you're ducking me for this smoke. Somebody needs to get a budget to book this battle. But we're gonna talk about stuff like that later, bro. Yo, welcome to the show, fam. Let me get off the mic for a second. Hey, yo.
Man, yeah. So I don't really have much to say outside of that was a fantastic introduction, the least cap you've ever spit about me in your life. And yeah, man, thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, listen, it's long overdue, man. I feel like we should have been had you on. So welcome officially to the Hustle Podcast. I'm gonna start it with this because I personally want to know what's up with Glock Party, bro. What's going on with the Glock Party shit?
You talking about the podcast?
Yeah, the pod.
It just life, man.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Listen, I feel you.
You guys know what it is.
Yeah.
It's
That
a
shit was fire, though,
commitment.
back
We
then.
were
Yeah, it
doing
was.
it every week.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we weren't doing it to ever make anything big out of it. We just did it but at some point it was just the logistics of getting everybody on board at the same time.
It's a
every
lot.
week. It's
is
rough,
a lot.
man.
It's a
Everybody
lot.
has their life going on.
Yeah.
And then there's also, as you guys know, everything behind the scenes, right? So yeah, you're sitting down and you're filming for a couple of hours. That's one thing. But then there's the editing, the rendering, uploading, all this stuff that goes
Cutting
with it.
clips.
Cutting clips to make it so that people want to watch it. So it was really more of a, we didn't have time to do it. And considering that it was a passion project.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
It wasn't a priority really in any of our lives. It was fun while it lasted, but
Yeah, it was cool though for a second.
was just
It
part
was
of the-
some funny topics.
Yeah.
Like I would watch sometimes, and I would want to be like in on the conversation. You know,
Well,
what I mean?
that's what was dope about it, because you guys have like a genuine chemistry. So that's like that. You need that shit on a podcast. If you don't have it, it's
I
not
can't
gonna
think of a specific subject or topic, but I do remember watching one episode one time and being like, "Yo." Well, like wanting to jump in the fucking conversation. Be like,
yeah.
what the fuck are you guys
the
talking
point.
about? You know
that
what I
was
mean?
kind
Like-
of the point of the podcast. Like looking back at it, it might have worked better if we didn't if me and Trevi weren't so close, and Feezy, like all of us, if we weren't so close, because we think very similarly on a lot of things. Sometimes I'm like I have the odd
fucking
one
left
out,
field
you know,
and shit.
yeah. But generally we agree on most things, on most big issues and things like that. So our most popular episodes, the ones that people still talk to me about, is like we were talking about like aliens or like the pyramids or whatever the case may be, the moon landing, like shit that we can like bicker about. This is weird. This is, people like that because there was like the conflict
you
of
need
it.
that shit, bro.
Yeah, you do. So in hindsight, I don't think it would have been better. I think our content was good. I think it was, it was good conversations, but I think it would have been more popular had we had more things that we legitimately disagree about that we can actually, like.
So me and
hash
you need
out.
to argue more. Yo, basics, you're a fucking pussy.
Yeah. But as dumb as it sounds, I think
If this is not a clip, I don't know what is.
like think about anything else. Think about sports shows, for example. The best sports show at the time
So funny that you brought
was
this up.
Shannon and Skip. What was it called?
And before
Undisputed.
that was First Take, which was
First
the
Take,
same
which
sort
was
of format.
exactly. So it's always the confrontation of two people with strong opinions and good delivery. So I think that's something we could have done. But then again, we were just three friends doing a podcast,
no, for
and
sure.
like I said, we often like argue about stuff, but generally we really agree
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you know what I mean. We
for
weren't
sure.
actually gonna fake opinions to make it enter, because TV does that.
Which
like
it's
Max
fun-
Kellerman
that's
talks
why
about having to.
That's why you saying that made me want to say, like, it's so funny because it's like I'm gonna disagree, devil's advocate, but it's like exactly what you said. Like Max Kellerman has been in interviews saying like, yeah, you had to be contrarian even if you didn't actually disagree with that. It's just like, no, you have to take this other side of the argument.
Yeah,
so we
because
can
Stephen A.
argue
wasn't
it.
going to take
And it's
the
just like-
controversial
exactly,
stance or whatever.
And
Stay woke.
And so for me, it's like I don't feel like that's as necessary when at this point I've gravitated away from the fake yelling podcasts where people are just like Skip is great at just being like, no, he's just the worst ever. How could? And it's just like, bro, you can't tell me. Like when he went to First Take recently, Skip Bayless went back to First Take on some like wow.
I haven't watched that in so long.
And one of the things that he was like saying was like LeBron is like 8th or 9th on his list in the top 10,
yeah.
you know?
I
And it was
think I
just
saw a
like
clip
you
about that.
you can't feel that way. You're saying that to be
Well, it's kind of his
controversial,
brand,
to
you
be
know? At this point,
specifically
Skip
him,
Bayless,
right?
it's kind of
his brand.
But
it's kind of his
to
brand.
loop to what I'm saying is like I prefer podcasts, and we've talked about this, like First Things First, which is a sports podcast where the chemistry isn't based on them arguing and going crazy. It's just based on them having a vibe and talking. And they do disagree, but it's not like, no, you're the stupidest idiot in the world for feeling that way. It's
they're
just
not,
like
and they're not
we're just
yelling at
building
each
and
other.
talking
They're
and
not, but
shit,
they
you
do
know what I mean?
they do legitimately disagree on a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
You know, like where there's like when they have the GOAT debates or when they have the, you know, there's actual disagreement. There's Nick Wright, you know, when they talk about football, for example, this guy's getting like chief tattoos and like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of added sauce to it.
I was
you
so
know?
happy when the Eagles beat the Chiefs in that fucking Super Bowl.
I don't watch football
Fucking
like that,
God.
but I watch the show. So I sometimes, you know, I see that stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, anyways, all that to say, that's what happened with the podcast. So it was fun while it lasted. Yeah. I think there would have been ways where it could have blown up and okay, we were really invested because, you know, but it was just kind of like, okay, we're doing it for fun, you know. And eventually, it was like, okay, we don't have the time or the money or the whatever
It
to
is
maintain this,
time-consuming.
you know, to maintain the.
is.
Well, honestly, I'm putting it out in the air right now. I would like to eventually do a Hustle Podcast Glock Party reincarnation just for one episode. We all
Oh,
just
yeah, for
reunion
sure.
and
For
still
sure, we
talk
could
about
do that,
shit. Because
for
I think
sure.
we had Trevi on back in the day, right, Steve? We had Machete Trevi
Yeah,
on.
you guys
I don't
did?
even think I think he left. But anyway, we did have Machete Trevi
Okay,
on
that's
early. Because I remember he was like, I'm like, I don't remember why are you so fucking tall right now, bro.
Facts.
I was offended by
Facts.
his height. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I just hooped with Trevi recently.
Yeah, this guy's
like,
fucking tall as fuck, bro. But yeah, no, I would definitely like to. Yeah, that'd be. I think that'd be a sick episode still.
Shouts Trevi, bro.
Yeah, big
Shouts Trevi, about to have a baby just now.
Oh fuck, for real?
Facts.
Getting married and shit soon.
Damn, bro.
Shout out to
Life changed.
Feezy, who's been had a youth
kid
from a
as
couple
well,
years
yeah.
ago. Everybody's
You
on
see what I
this-
mean
on
about
this,
life?
you know
Like,
what I
you
mean?
know,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
some
yeah,
point,
yeah.
life
It's-
just so that's.
We need to get Feezy up here.
I mean, it's
Feezy,
gonna
Yes,
happen.
that's important. You
gonna
guys
happen.
haven't
Calling
had
you like
Feast?
Scottie
We
Pippen
had
with
him,
Michael
like-
Jordan.
We had him early on too, but it was one of those situations where I couldn't get out of work. Towels didn't make, so it was just Steve and Feezy. So yeah, we owe Feezy
on,
an
yo.
episode actually, to be honest. And then we might have to do a little push-up competition or something like that. You know what I'm saying? See
Yeah,
what's really
Feezy's been
popping out
getting
here.
yoked.
Nah, yeah,
recently.
shout out to
He's
this
on
guy.
his 50
He's been
Cent
yoked.
shit.
He's
He's
been
been
jacked,
yoked, but
bro.
now that he's on his like,
But now
He's on
Feezy
his
trainer.
grind. Yeah, he's on his
You know what I
grind.
mean? He's like,
But no, 'cause-
Feezy training.
Yeah, he was like beef, but now he's like he's getting cut.
Yeah.
you know, so
That's what I'm saying.
that
though.
shit ain't easy. It is a little bit easier with black genetics, though. I'll give it. You know what I'm saying? But I won't take the work away. You still did the work, so shout out to you.
No, he's a monster. Now, I've seen some videos lately. I was like, holy fuck, okay, this guy's working.
Yeah, bro. Straight
I need
up.
to get to it too. I need to get on that. We
got a lot of ground to
hysterical.
cover today, boys.
That's a fact,
I
bro.
was honestly.
What are we talking about?
we're
What are
talking
we
about,
saying?
We're talking about so much shit today, bro.
Okay.
I was excited to have you on because number one, you're a pretty opinionated guy.
very
He's a Pretty
opinionated.
This
opinionated
guy
guy.
likes to talk.
Very opinionated.
And
He's a spicy talker,
Yeah,
bro. I'm
bro.
not gonna lie. Me and him have gotten
Spicy
into
hot.
some.
What
We've
can I
gotten
say?
into some public debates to the point that both of us have had people messaging us privately to be like, "Yo, are you beefing with this
Yo,
dude?"
you guys are gonna fight, bro?
Yo, you sliding on that?
And then people are in the comments too, like, "Yo, guys, chill, bro. It doesn't have to be this serious."
But did you ever
bro."
get like a yo? If anything, I'm on your side type shit. Like,
I mean, that's what I mean by this kind of like receiving messages to be like, "Yo, fuck Krome then if he's da da da," you know. And I'm sure he's gotten messages like, "Yo, Basic's a fucking idiot, bro." So
Dude, I've gotten messages for a lot of debates I've had online. I tell people now, like, dude, guys, trust me, it's never serious, you know?
yeah, because you
For me, it's never
you
serious.
be wilding in your not wilding, but you speak your mind. You're not
very-
shy about speaking.
it's not
your
only
mind
about-
and
it's
your
not only about
perspective
me.
and just like
A lot of people speak, I'm provocative in the way I speak. Like, I know what I'm like. I like to stir the pot, you
Yeah,
know?
I know
But
you
I
do,
don't say
bro.
shit I don't believe just to stir the pot. But I say it in a way where you're gonna be like, yo, this motherfucker. Like if you feel concerned by what I'm saying, you know, you're gonna be like, yo, bro, like what the fuck is wrong with this guy, you know? Because like I said, I like that. I like the back and forth. I like to me, almost everything, I don't want to say almost everything, but a lot of the really important shit that I learned in my life, I probably learned it for being wrong about something initially, you know? And being hard-headed about it and then realizing that, holy shit, I'm kind of a fucking idiot.
I hate that though. I hate that. Like
Everybody hates
you,
that.
You know what it like? For
It's
me,
human to hate
It's
that.
the Facebook memories. I'll see some shit that I posted in like
And then you're going to be like, that's
2011,
so cringe.
2012,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh
bro.
God, bro. Like really, dude? Like
It's wild, bro.
No, well, that's what it is.
so bad.
That's what it is for me too. There's some shit like you grow out of some certain ways of thinking,
Yeah,
or
bro.
but you won't grow out of those ways of thinking if your way of thinking isn't challenged.
Yeah.
Right. So that's always my thing. Like I'm very big into the debate culture and all this stuff because I like that. Like that's what I enjoy. Like I love watching two people who know a lot more than me about a topic have a debate, and then at the end of that debate. I don't become a professional, but I know a lot more than I knew before. And I can pick who I think had a more compelling argument. And then I'll do my own research on the topic and decide how I feel about it. So yeah, I love that. Like, I love that, you know, like just the whole idea of challenging your ideas. Like, okay, you believe in something, but are you in a fucking echo chamber where everybody's saying the same shit as you?
Everybody's in an echo
and
chamber.
you know,
I'm glad you
rappers
said that,
have a big problem with that, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like they have their childhood friends that tell them they're really, really good, and they're stuck in this like
Bro.
constant echo chamber of
wild.
positive reinforcement, you know? And it's like sometimes you need the cold water, you know? Sometimes you need to realize that maybe I need to get a job, or maybe I need, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it has to, and I think that's the same thing for everything in life. I think if you're really, like, I'm someone who's passionate about my opinions. I like to debate stuff. I'm open to being wrong. I'm open to being corrected and changing my perspective on shit. But I think it's important. Like if someone says, and people find me way too intense, and I understand, you know, because I am very intense. You'll post something on your story and I'll message you like, yo, this is retarded, you know? Like this is stupid. Why would you? And then people are like, yo, fuck is wrong with you? You know, like, why are you pulling up on me? And I'm just like, well, dude, you're posting something that like triggers me, you know? Like that triggers me to want to be like, why are you posting this dumb shit? You know, type of thing.
That's
and I can
funny,
see why
bro.
some people would be like, oh, why would you do that? But to me, I think it's important. Like if it's someone I know, if it's someone that's one of my friends, or if that's posting something that I think is completely illogical, or I think it's not true, or I think it's kind of like important for me to be like, yo, bro, this is kind of fucked up. The same way we would call out anything we think is fucked up.
that's exactly
Like
it.
if you see one of your friends being like doing something like fucking racist or some shit, you're expected to call him out, you know? So if I see something that's being posted that I think is,
unless it's funny.
yeah, if it's like a funny meme on
mean,
Instagram,
It could be funny. I mean, let's be honest. Racism can be funny.
Context
I'm
is
more
everything when it comes to
100%.
comedy.
well, dude, I'm not even
know what I
talking
mean?
about
Like-
comedy. I
No,
don't want
know you're not, but
because I'm
but
not
to
someone
answer
who's
what he
easily
said
offended.
about comedy, but also to say like you're like you've grown. Obviously, I mean we've known each other for a long time, bro. Like we've talked some crazy shit. But I think it's like a human quality, like you said, to hate being wrong. But at the same time, it's like
Everybody hates being wrong.
everybody hates being wrong, but not everybody hates learning, or like not everybody hates being corrected. Not everybody like some like you have to like.
I think they
you
do.
can
I think
hate
people-
being wrong,
You can
but
love
you can
what comes from it. You know, like even me, I'm telling you this, and I love to argue, and I'm very like I think it has to come with it. If you're someone who wants to debate and someone who wants to argue, it has to come with. When you're wrong, bro, you
have
gotta
to have
eat
the
that.
thick skin.
'Cause
I
if
agree,
you're
but I
somebody
don't
that's
think
just
that's
never gonna
I don't
acknowledge
think
that
that's
they're wrong, bro.
prevalent. That's my whole point. Is like I don't think people who are in comment sections playing devil's advocate
Yeah.
have that mentality.
But that's the
I
problem.
don't think most people.
Yeah,
I think most people hate being wrong. Yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I don't hate being wrong because like I don't think of it like that. If I'm wrong about something, I don't hate being wrong. I hate being wrong. Like make me right. Like show me. Like teach me.
yeah.
So I don't hate being wrong because like
But
how
on
could
the-
I possibly be right if I already knew
I
everything
understand,
in the world?
but now you're thinking
But
about it
everybody
as
doesn't
from
have
like
it in that
you're thinking
existential
about it
mindset.
from like a disconnected perspective, okay? But like I'll give you an example that happens a lot. This is one of the most common examples of how this happens, okay? Where people are usually wrong is that I'll have an argument with somebody about it, something that happened, like an event. There was a mass shooting somewhere. There was something happened, and the person just doesn't have the real facts of the case. For example, they don't really know what happened. They heard a story of what happened, but I know what happened in the case. For example, I can prove that no, actually, this is what happened. In that moment, if you thought of this specific story in a certain light, if you already had all these preconceived notions from the story, you're already emotionally invested. You're already like you've been talking to people about
That's
this.
the big
Yo,
one.
have you seen this fucked up shit? And I pull up and I'm like, no, actually, what you believed is not true. Even if down the line you're gonna be like, oh, okay, it's better now that I know. And
But
then
in the moment.
and like I said, even me, someone who's telling you this right now, I'm guilty of this as well. Like we all don't like that shit, and we're all tempted to push back. Like even me, sometimes I'll realize like, oh, I pushed back way too long on this. Like I should have realized at this point that my argument, or like that I was in hindsight. Like but like I said, you have to be open to doing that, And if you are, then I think only good shit could come out of having, even if it's a heated debate, even if you guys are saying you're a fucking idiot, and as long as there's no real animosity that you guys don't want to fucking fight each other or whatever,
which should never be the case.
No, but I think the problem with just all of this shit in general nowadays is that we all have this confirmation bias, right? And there's so much information now at our fingertips. It's like whatever you want to believe, you can realistically go get information that's going to confirm whatever whatever direction you want to go.
As like we're training
And that's the
search
problem.
engines and
Yeah,
stuff to
that's
like
it.
even
That's
train
the
us
worst
more to
shit.
confirmation bias.
Yeah, well, because now it's algorithmic.
Well, dude, the AI
Bro,
shit is
The AI shit is crazy. Like shouts to my mom's. I have to show her and train her about certain things because she'll see videos or she'll, my mom be watching YouTube shorts or she'll get stuff sent to her in WhatsApp from friends or a fucking TikTok video or whatever, And like she sent me something today and it was like this video of these babies and it's like this thing with their eyes and they were blind before or they were deaf or whatever. And it's like a video of them with their parents and they start seeing and they react and blah, blah. And within the first 3-4 seconds I was watching and I was like, this looks weird. And after a couple more seconds, I was like, this is fucking AI. And then I went in the comments and it was a lot of people being like, oh my God, so cute, this and that. But there was some people being like, bro, it's wild that some of y'all are in these comments crying over an AI video.
Yeah.
And I read and dissected and I was like, okay, I was right. And then I had to remind my mom and say to her sometimes
brother,
and burst her bubble of like, no, this is not real.
But the crazy thing is, it's gonna get to a point where it's completely indiscernible. We're not gonna be able to tell. We're not gonna be able to tell.
I literally said to her, it's scary because in a couple of years, it's gonna be 99.99% indistinguishable. There's gonna be a time where AI is so incredibly advanced that I'm gonna be able to put his face, his whole everything, and just make the craziest.
Yeah,
it's a scary place we're going into, like as far as like crime.
Well, yeah, that's
and
it.
like people being found guilty when there's no evidence of it, or done.
Well, dude, we're gonna move into a place where in a couple of years, like video evidence could be non-admissible just because, like, how do we know this is real video
the
evidence?
man who shot the insurance guy, what's his name? Luigi
Mangione.
Mangione.
Yeah,
Imagine if there
Mangione.
was a video of multiple angles and now you see his face and then you see other HD of him going over there and crossing the street and da-da-da. And it's like, yo.
But it's like those prank videos that you see and the guy shows him a video. Somebody just broke into your car and then you run outside and
Oh, yo.
those are hilarious.
It's beef, bro.
Yeah.
I can't
someone
deal with
does that to me-
Yo, the prank shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm waiting to punch someone in the face.
100%.
Like, I'm so sorry.
They're gonna run into the wrong ones.
I'm
Yeah.
not that kind of person.
No, me
like
neither.
maybe this is a clip. I don't know, but like, yo, bro, don't come up to me with that prank shit.
No,
bro.
yeah, I'm a generally angry person, so please don't do
Yeah,
that.
I never thought. Listen, I've seen some pranks that I thought were funny, but I've always thought like the funniest thing is if you get like if this person gets beat up right now, the person doing the prank, that'll be the best possible.
Yo, straight
when
up.
that happens, it's like my favorite videos is the ones where when they're getting smacked up, you're like this is cool, this is funny, They thought they were gonna pick on this guy in the street, and he's like, what the fuck?
I'm sure you've seen it. There's this one guy, his name's Opto. I think he's like Mexican or Armenian or some shit. And he goes to all different hoods in America and he'll just walk up to like a bunch of dudes chilling, just walk up to them and be like, yo, I heard you want to get smoked or what?
Oh, yeah.
I know, bro.
Yeah, shit like that.
They just all start pulling out guns and shit. It's fucking, yo,
I've seen that guy.
This guy is brave,
acting
bro.
like he's about to steal someone's car.
Yeah, yo, it's
all
crazy.
kinds of
It's
stuff,
crazy.
throwing up gang signs in people's faces.
That's so fucking funny though.
All kinds of wild shit.
Yeah,
like
these
shit
guys
that
always
you
do
could
some.
get.
Oh, you want the fade, and then they pull out a
And then they
clipper.
pull out
Oh,
the
dude,
clipper.
but dude, when these guys get punched in the face, it's hilarious.
Yo,
it's my
bro.
favorite thing.
It's coming for sure.
It's my favorite thing.
There's a
Yeah.
dude who shot the guy in the mall. I think it
Yes.
was last year.
Oh,
right?
yes.
There's a guy who was like pranking the guy.
10 out of 10.
And the man
got
had
clapped?
a pistol on him, and the man's like I don't remember. He was a UPS driver, FedEx driver. I'm not 100% sure what he was, but he was also on the spectrum, so he had high functioning autism, and so
And he had a gun?
Well, yes, because he's a legal. It's not. I said high functioning autism. He's on the spectrum.
No,
He's
I know.
perfectly
I'm
a
just-
fine, just like any other
I get it.
legal
I'm just saying,
bearing
like, it's just-
gun holder. It's just wild because it's like he's not gonna get that it's a prank or that for him at some point you're escalating this in a situation that like
and
my social dynamic and cues are not built
dude,
for
you
this.
don't even have
You're
to
gonna
be
and you don't even have to
autistic.
be.
You
Like,
can
if
just-
you're running up on me
Yeah.
at a point, I feel like I'm unsafe. And he shot the dude, and the dude lived and stuff. But initially, he was charged with whatever he was charged with. But they dropped that shit. Because it was like, you see in the video where the dude's telling him, get away from me, stop. And the dude followed him through the mall for like over a half hour.
Yeah, you're getting shot.
And the
egging him on.
worst part is, technically, like, they could have charged him because he wasn't there was no reasonable fear for his life.
Like, it
right?
wasn't
The
in
guy
danger,
never said,
yeah.
"I'm gonna kill you,"
Yeah,
or he
yeah,
never.
yeah.
But at the same time, it was such like a situation of harassment that they were just like, okay, we can't really, like, we're not gonna prosecute this because
But
you kind of deserve to get shot.
Especially because it's like the intention of the video he's making with. It's like you're
Is to
doing
provoke,
this
yeah.
to provoke
Yeah,
to
you're
make
doing it
money
intentionally, yeah.
online.
Yeah, exactly.
But what
It's
if it was a
wild?
woman?
He deserved it.
What if it was a woman and he was chasing and he was stalking her for 30 minutes in the mall?
Oh yeah. Well,
She
the
want to
thing-
pepper
dude,
spray him or something. It'd be very justified. It'd be
of
like
course.
hella weirdo shit.
100%.
Like I hate those videos of dudes in the street who just walk up to girls and do like, "Hey, how you doing, ladies?" Oh,
with a camera, dude.
just
You know,
weird.
imagine
It's
how
just-
weird that is.
it's
dude.
like-
Just imagine being the chick. Like, it's fucking, you got to deal with this creepy
Yeah.
shit.
Hey, you guys are taking a picture, girls? Can I just hop in?
No.
What?
No.
Listen, I'm not. Listen, let's not even go in that direction.
Yeah, that's
please.
where I thought you were going, to be honest.
I'm not at all. It's
I ain't
just
gonna
in
hold
general.
you.
I just don't. I think we're in a fucking weird
We are.
world.
We really
We're
are.
getting to be in a very strange place where I feel like what consequences are starting to become like we're losing the reality of consequence. And I
Well,
work
dude, we're
with
just
youth,
losing
so that-
reality. Period.
Yep.
Like you said before, now we live in a world where every fucking retard could feel validated by ChatGPT. Like you can literally type into ChatGPT, "Here's what I'm talking about. Tell me I'm right," and you know,
It'll build the
find
case for you,
Yeah,
100%.
dude, it's insane. You know, so
But we
everybody thinks they're right about everything now.
Yeah, because we live in this, but we also, the second part of that is we live in this hypersensitive environment now where it's like me and you, let's go back to the debate shit. Me and you could be having a debate about, I don't want to necessarily get into politics, but let's just use it for an example. We could be having a debate about politics. And if I'm coming at it from a more conservative standpoint, you're being the liberal guy, right away the liberals just gonna be like, "Wow, well, you're just racist." And that's just supposed to end the conversation right there. And it's like, no, but like you labeling me something, first of all, like I'm not afraid of words because I know what my intentions are. I know who I am as a person. So you just saying I'm racist because of my political opinion is not gonna end the conversation. But for most people, as soon as they hear an ism, they're like, "Oh, no, okay, you win. I'm out. I'm out."
Yeah, and like you said, it's everybody's hypersensitive, but it's performative, right? Because none of this shit really actually offends people. Like
you.
I'm saying retard. People are gonna take offense with that. People are gonna say he's saying the R word. Nobody is actually offended. I've never met one person in my life who is actually offended, but like legitimately like this deeply offended. No, it's just all performative, and you know what I mean. So that's my problem with it. That's why I'm not someone who's trying to intentionally disrespect people but like I'm not gonna fall into the whole performative shit. And you know, what you're describing, it could be political. It's not only in politics because now like
everything, yeah.
they do it with the Kendrick Drake debate now.
Yeah,
Like, now
yeah,
you're
exactly.
not allowed to be
Yeah.
a Drake fan or else you're some, you know, like so. But it is true what you're saying. Like for a long time, that's been a big issue of like, oh, we can't even have this conversation because like your position, like the position you're standing, like you're coming from is unsustainable. We can't even discuss it. You know what I mean? And that's a very real way to shut down conversation, you know? And I feel like that does happen a lot. And that's why I'm totally against that. That's why I'm like, yo, we should talk about it. Everybody, basics, 100 times, we argue back and forth, bunch of shit. Sometimes I tell them, yo, let's go on Facebook Live right now, or let's go on Instagram Live right now and have a debate about this. Talk about it because, you know, sometimes typing up a debate is very...
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's
and
very
then
hard
sometimes
and
you'll
weird.
have like the back and forth, especially because
And you're
like,
not
we be
coordinated
going,
in the
like,
response. Exactly. So it's almost
paragraphs,
impossible.
And then it's like he'll answer something too fast. I was still answering.
It's almost
two
impossible.
Things prior.
Then you get aggressive and
It's
start
just-
voice noting, man. It's like,
Well, ideally, that's like, dude, what you're describing right now has literally happened to me where like I'm having a conversation with someone on like Facebook and eventually I just hit them up in the DM and I'm like, yo, dude, like I can't, like the back and forth, like we have to hit a voice note or something because I can't do the 300 messages back and forth.
Oh, straight up.
So yeah, anyways, I think we should encourage that. I don't think we should do, and like at the end of the day, dude, like I do think that the better argument is always going to win. You know what I mean? Like if your position is better than mine on anything, whether it be politics, whether it be music, whether it be have the debate, have the
I
conversation.
don't know if I agree with that. Oh God, I'm playing devil's advocate again. No, but like
no,
but
fine.
I
We
don't
have
know
to
if I
dis-
agree
that's
with
the whole
that.
point.
Especially, and I'll use politics as an example of this, but like I do think facts, obviously, facts over opinion. But when it comes to arguing and debating things,
Yeah.
manipulators of vocabulary and language, master orators. Like, you know, like if we're going to go super deep in topics, like one of the reasons that Barack was so great with people and resonated with people was not just that he was a first black president, but it was also the way he spoke.
Very
Like
eloquent.
it was more than eloquence. It's like a mix of like regal eloquence, etc., but also like colloquialism and slangish, and it's just very like you understand how to speak to people and how to make people be like, you know what? This is really convincing. It's almost like I don't even need the facts.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? And
You're
it's like that's what a lot of this online shit is. Like people who like stream and have opinions and who like, you know, academics.
Yeah,
Any
but once
person
again,
who like
this is you're describing influencers.
I'm describing like
Because people
the
who
power
have
of
debates-
influence and how you're arguing and wording your arguments.
I agree, but the
versus-
thing
you
is,
know what I mean?
that doesn't hold up to scrutiny. You know, you can be a sweet. You're right, because you're right. There's a lot of snake oil salesmen online preaching a whole bunch of shit on both sides of political spectrums that are just
And all spectrums.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
But like when I say political, I mean like even socially and like, you know, just every side of the
Yeah. Fucking Kendrick Drake, bro. The fucking
yeah,
Cold War.
exactly. But those arguments don't hold up to scrutiny. Like those people don't hold up to like if you have a back and forth with someone who's doing that, you know. And I don't know if Obama is a good example, but since you brought up Obama,
No, it was just to bring up the point of like.
I mean, a good
speaking
example
well,
for
you
what
know
I'm
I mean?
gonna say, but like it just since we're talking about Obama, let's say Obama. Okay, like look at the Obama immigration policy, for example. He was very hawkish on immigration. He deported a whole bunch of people, this and that. But he was very much a sweet talker in the way that he, like, you know, he wasn't, like he was the complete opposite of Trump in the way that he approached the problem and addressed it. And, you know, but he was essentially doing the same thing, though. He was essentially tightening the border and deporting a lot of people. But he was presenting it in a way that was a lot more palatable for people to accept. Now, if someone were to sit down with Obama and have a debate from the same position as people are having a debate right now of we shouldn't be deporting these people. And if someone pressed Obama the same way, his whole shit would fall. Like, you know what I mean? The whole facade of it couldn't hold up because now you have to justify, but like I said, he never hit it. Obama never said, oh, I'm against deporting people and we're not going to do it. And then did it. No, he talked about it. He said it was one, but he had a good way of bringing it. But it doesn't mean that he had better justifications for why he was doing it. It doesn't mean that if you tested him on, hey, you're doing this stuff right now and I disagree with it, you know? If you're someone who disagrees with that and you started testing him, it doesn't mean that he had better reasoning. But you're right. Some people are just better at you know, selling you a narrative
There's a lot to say for
lowering the scrutiny.
Yeah, but there's a lot to say for personality, right? And like I'll hearken it to kind of battle rap. Like there are examples where the guy with the better bars doesn't always necessarily win.
No.
Sometimes the guy with the better performance is gonna take the crowd and he's gonna win.
Yeah,
and it's the
absolutely.
same kind of thing, right? It's all about how you present things. Trump is very much, I'm gonna do what I want and it's in your face and everybody knows. You know, whereas
it's very rash. It's very
exactly.
it's meant to rile up people,
Yeah,
right? Because it
100%.
riles up his base, but it also riles up like everything he does is meant. Whereas Obama was kind of the opposite. Obama went and got a lot of people from the other side. He was very
It's so funny that you said the opposite, bro, because while you were speaking about Obama and the immigration thing or whatever, like, you know me, I don't really get into the politics and all that.
I'm so glad we got
But
you doing it today.
I will say,
Forced them into
if you
political
guys look in the history of the United States, especially in the last quarter century, a little bit more, etc., like, it's very clear that it's like the opposite personality person that it's like
Every
you
time.
have like
Every cycle.
this person and then
Yeah.
you have this person and then after this person we've had too much of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like rap actually, because for a while it was like 50 Cent came in the game and it was like, yo, gangster rap, bro. All of that singing soft Ja
There's
Rule
eras,
shit,
yeah.
the fuck out of here. But then after a while, Kanye and the pink polo, and then when Graduation beat Curtis, it was kind of like the official crowning of like, nah, man, it's okay to make good hooks and have T-Pain singing and do songs for the ladies.
But it's also
and
okay to just be like a regular talented
But then
guy. You don't have to
eventually
be
the
a
soft
murderer
era
to be
and
a rapper,
Drake and
right?
da-da-da. But like what happened with then drill comes
Yeah.
and the takeover and
Yeah.
it's people get too used to the same thing, and
Well,
you
it's
have
also
to,
because
like,
people are never happy, you know? Regardless what you think of in Canada, in the States, wherever, regardless what you think of the countries right now, even when the countries, like, we think of, like, the 90s as being, like, fucking utopia, you know? Hey, like, people actually were able to afford homes and shit, you know?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But people in the 90s were like, yo, this shit is fucked up. Fucking
100%.
mortgage rates are at 9%. You know what I mean? Like, people are never happy in the era that they're in. So even when it is shit, they're going to complain. But even when it's relatively good, like when we're going to look back on it, like, yo, that was the shit back then, you know? When we were all fucking crying under this administration, it was actually kind of cool. But when it was happening, we were all like, this is shit. We want to change it.
Stephen Harper's a really good example of that.
I
because
think he is,
remember
yeah.
When I was like, when he was in office, I was like in my early 20s. I was in Dawson.
And he was the worst thing
I
ever.
was liberal.
Yeah.
I fucking hated
Yeah.
Stephen. Fuck Stephen Harper.
He didn't even want to legalize weed, dude.
Bro,
This
like,
guy was
and like he was
loser.
the devil. Like he was the devil. But it's also being in academia and you're literally being brainwashed.
Yeah,
right?
in school you had no choice.
100%.
believe
But then,
that
but
it
I'm
was.
looking back on it now, and I'm like, bro, can we bring this guy back, please? Like, can somebody do something, bro? Like,
But that's what I'm saying. But dude, I guarantee you, if a Stephen Harper were to come back and we had him for 2 terms, whatever the fuck, eventually people would be like, "Yo, this is the worst shit again." Like, you know what I mean? I think it
always
is a
like that,
constant
bro.
wheel.
Yeah.
It's always
of,
like that, bro.
Yeah, I think it always ends up like the pendulum swings back. You know?
it has to. It has to.
Yeah.
It has to. We have no choice. But let's get it. Let's segue this, I think, into I'm gonna save you basics because I know the politics ain't your bag, bro.
Oh no, I'm in it. I'm
No,
in
he
it.
was
Hey,
cooking.
yo.
He was like, actually, you know what? I've been looking on some. I've been
I
doing
can
some
cook on any
political
topic
research.
still, you know.
Basics is about to
But
surprise
sometimes
you,
you
bro.
have to, like, sometimes in life you kind of have to, like, keep your hand close to the chest. You know, you might not want everybody to know. You know, like, because we could really go. I could go like really deep on the quote unquote conspiracy theories of politics and sociological structures, as economy, like the way the world is set up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not always the time and space for that. And it's not, I've learned through life that, like, some people aren't ready to have, like,
Oh, for sure.
the real conversations about
Yeah,
the-
well,
I'd say
so
most
it's
people.
like, let's not even like, and then at the also, I don't want to just like,
You don't want to be Immortal Technique?
That's a little too far, though, a little bit. I think. But because I was actually gonna say, because Basics is still putting out music, ladies and gentlemen. Go stream that new single right now. What's it called?
Facts.
Play,
Play.
right? Go stream that Play right now.
Play it.
But Basics, Basics has to be on brand, guys. So we can't be talking about the NDP and shit like that and immigration. Listen, go stream the new single. That's all you guys got to worry
might
about.
be getting some government grants. soon for
Exactly.
some
But me
projects.
personally,
Hey, come on.
listen, I'm
We
not
gotta
gonna
be
front.
careful.
I don't got no dog in the fight, so I can say whatever the fuck I want, and I'll happily do it. I like speaking my mind. I'm very much on your wavelength as far as that's concerned. Let's get into this Drake and Kendrick shit, guys. And I don't even know why I said Drake and Kendrick. We'll start with the Drake shit. Obviously Iceman came out amongst the other 2 albums. Well, I think we'll stick to Iceman for the most part. I find it kind of crazy, bro. And then we got to get into Hove too, but I find it kind of crazy. And we touched a bit on it last week, but I find it a little bit crazy that this really goes back to what you were saying with never being happy. People are never fucking happy, bro.
No
Because
matter what.
how long have we been, and this is me, like me personally, my relationship with Drake has always been a love-hate relationship. I always go through these phases with Drake where, like, after a while, I'm just kind of like, all right, bro. Like, all right, we get it. All right, Hotline Bling. All right, cool, bro. Like, go on, you know? But then after a while, he comes back, and I'm Team Drake again. Right now, I'm Team Drake again. But, like, so as Drake fans, I feel like for the longest time, we've been just like, yo, I just wish the guy would just bar up. Like, I just wanted to hear Drake bar up. So he finally hits
been a
us
minute
with
still.
an album where he's
been a
just
minute.
where he's just barring up, and everybody's still not happy about it. Like, I just don't understand what people need to be happy with Drizzy right now.
I've seen. You're right. You're 100% right. That's the thing. Once again, this comes back to what I was saying before. It's performative. It's not like the people I've seen criticizing the album. Like, okay, some people will say, "Hey, it's not for me. I don't like this type of music." That's fine, you know.
Fair enough.
If you're a rap fan, if you're a fan of like good lyricism, good beats, good hooks, like, you can't tell me it's a bad album. You just can't. I don't like objectively. It's, to me, it's a stupid take. Like, you look stupid. Like, if you're telling me, "Oh, it's not a good rap album," it's like, okay, so what is? You know, like, and like I said, I don't really believe it. I think these people are so caught up in oh my God, like I picked a side during the Drake and Kendrick shit, and now I need to, desperately like cling on to that. And like, I'm a Drake stan, dude. I fucking love like I love his R&B shit. I like a lot of shit he does. And my favorite shit is his timestamp shit, which is all the super bar heavy, 7 a.m. on Bridle Path, 8 a.m. in Charlotte, whatever.
4 a.m. in Toronto, 3 a.m. Calabasas.
These are all my
whatever
favorite
it is,
Drake tracks, And he essentially gave us an album with like 4 or 5 of those on the fucking album,
All of them make them.
Yeah.
All of
So
them make
to
them
me, like I think Take Care is Drake's best album. Yeah. And I think he's had other classics, and every single album, including Take Care, has some songs that I'm like, I'll probably skip. And Take Care is likely my favorite album of all time. It's in my top 3 for sure,
That's
so, and
interesting.
even that album has songs that I'm not like, sometimes I'll be like, I'm not in a mood to hear this one. Iceman, I feel like it's been like this since release. I'm still listening to it every day. And I feel like this is an album that literally every single song I literally started, I get in my car in the morning, I work on the road. I get in the car in the morning, I put the first track on, and I played the whole album front to back, and I've played it fucking 100 times now. And I just let it play every time, every song. There's not a song that I'm like, Even What Did I Miss? And What Did I Miss came out months and months ago. I heard this song a whole bunch of times.
Came out more than a year ago.
And I still let it play.
I fuck with that song.
Yeah.
honestly,
I'm like, what did I miss?
What I
I'm
Miss
still,
is fire.
I'm still bumping. So
Especially the second part of What Did I
with the
Miss?
switch
When
up,
it
bro.
switches up, and then he has the end part where he addresses some of the stuff about like, when we were like at the show and you were rapping word to word when you were chilling in my crib, when I was giving the
what did I
features,
miss?
when I
How
was
he switches it
sending
from like,
the wire money.
what did I miss? I wasn't there. Like I was in Australia type of thing. I'm back. What
Type
did I
shit.
miss? To like,
To
what
being
did I
like,
miss?
what did I miss
Yeah.
from what's going on?
Literally.
With the,
But like,
you know
what
I
the
mean?
fuck did he miss? I don't understand. Like, it's crazy that the whole industry just made this guy the enemy, bro.
It's envy, dude. That's what it is.
Yeah,
At some
100%.
point, you know how long? Imagine like, I'm just like a battle rapper. Like I do verses in my car, and like I don't really care about this shit. But imagine like you're a rapper in that realm. That's like in the, you're like you're orbiting Drake in a sense of like you might get a hot song or you might get a Drake feature actually, and it might become a hit. And like a Rick Ross, for example, who's a big artist, a very big artist, but
facts.
not a Drake level artist, and you see this guy for fucking 15 years straight, just dominating. Everything he does is gold. Everything he does is going number one. And you're just struggling to keep up with that. You're struggling to keep up with the output. Because, dude, Drake not only drops hits, he drops often. Every 2 years. At the latest, we're getting a Drake album. You know what I mean? And on that album, there's going to be a number one for sure. It's going to be a number one album. Like, he's going to be, adding to his catalog of... So far, that's been true for, 15 years now,
Basically since his first album.
Yeah.
Like,
So, dude, you put
since he
yourself
came
in
into
these
the game.
guys' positions. You almost can't even be mad at them for doing the 20v1. Like, you almost can't even be mad at they really thought, I think, once again, I'm not in the industry, but I think these people really thought they were going to get rid of Drake.
were gonna
bro.
get
I think
him outta
people
here?
really thought that this album that just dropped was going to sell 200,000 first week. And I think they thought that he was cooked. You know what I mean?
You guys wish, man.
I definitely think there was a narrative for a brief moment, because the thing about it is
Dude, Dr.
Drake,
Dre and Lucian Grange high-fiving when Not Like Us won a Grammy is literally one of the most insane hip-hop industry moments that we've ever witnessed ever. In the history of hip-hop, people are going to look back at Dr. Dre and Lucian Grange. It's literally Lucian Grange represents the man in every single
Literally, bro.
form of the term. You know what I mean?
This guy's Babylon itself. Bro.
It literally, if you believe in any type
actually,
of
just to be on some
Illuminati type
conspiracy
of...
theory shit, he's actually just the gateway. It's the people
Oh,
who
for sure.
are
I mean, dude,
behind
he's the
him.
we
who
don't know.
Actually,
Yeah, we don't
exactly.
know.
You don't
but
know the dudes
still,
who are.
He's definitely dude. If you believe in any type of Illuminati,
no,
if you
for
think
sure.
Jay-Z and Rihanna are on some, you definitely think that Lucian Grange is.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean? He's very deep
I mean, these
into
are
some
people
very
that
bad
can push
shit.
the button. Like in the music industry, there is a term called basically that's been a rumor since the 70s, 80s, 90s of an artist getting a record deal and then blowing up. and it was basically saying like, oh, they pushed the button on this artist. Like they
that's not a rumor.
they put
Yeah.
them in the
No,
they
that's-
put them
yeah.
in the system, and they said
course.
this person is gonna fucking go.
Yeah.
And that is what I think is interesting about the perspective of this Drake beef. Because when Drake beefed with Meek Mill, it was about the writing shit. That's where it kind of came out of.
Yeah.
And
The ghostwriter shit.
the ghostwriting shit. And Drake was able to beat that twofold. Not only he smoked Meek and he had the back-to-back, which
Yeah,
was
he
like
had
a
a banger,
pop-in,
yeah.
catch and banger diss.
was crazy.
But also, it's like he writes for Beyonce and Kanye and a bunch of people, Alicia Keys, and like huge stars have had collaborators. And
Dude, he
et cetera.
literally wrote,
That's
I was
how it
telling you
goes,
that
right?
last time. He literally wrote one of the greatest R&B songs.
Right. So he
all time.
circumvented that. And when he beefed with Pusha, and Pusha had the ultimate, like, you're hiding a child, he lost for a second.
I don't think he
right?
lost. I think he
no,
won
but
this.
that's
The
what I'm,
narrative
watch
was-
what
no,
I'm
I
building.
agree.
The
I agree that
narrative
the-
was for a second.
By
Like,
the
yo,
way, I
how's he
listened
gonna
to that
fucking,
track
how's he
recently,
gonna
Story
fix
of
this?
Adidon or whatever the
Story of Adidon.
so dude, that is
So
bad.
trash.
Bro,
the
you're telling
biggest
me
line in
yo,
the
Duppy
song
was
was
better, no?
Of course, Duppy
Of course,
freestyle
Duppy was better.
Dude,
the
Duppy
biggest
actually
line
had
in the
bars. It
song
actually-
was "You are hiding a
Yes,
child."
yes. No, dude,
But
it was
that goes,
bad.
That's,
It was
that's
bad.
my whole point.
But I agree that at that moment when it happened, it was like,
He
oh
was
my
cooked.
God.
How's he going to turn this around?
Yeah.
But then Drake did I wasn't hiding the world from, I was hiding my son
From the world, son.
He flipped that steez
Yeah.
into, yeah, but I'm a single father. You guys just don't understand. Like, Drake's always been able to keep the aura that only he had, which made him the Golden Goose originally, which was he was the non-threatening rapper that made insanely great music and was able to kind of be threatening a little bit because of the people he was around. But then when the beef with Kendrick happened, this was the thing that truly attacked Drake's, the mainstream
His
perception
position.
of who Drake is was the like guy that would never be involved in anything of that kind of nature. You had pedal bars doing numbers, like that allegation, to call somebody a pedophile or to make allegations that this person is involved in these kind of things, you're right, A minor. That was a crazy bar in that moment.
That was one of the craziest bars of all time, honestly, A minor.
For sure, but it's also kind of like it's wild. And like Drake had some bars about Kendrick beating up Whitney and all that kind of stuff, which may not have been real either. And that's where beef goes crazy. But I really think like this is the truly first time where Drake was in trouble.
Yeah, well, that's what
Because
I
it
think
was
they
like-
thought, dude. I think people thought that Drake. This is the thing. Like, we're talking about the power of the industry. You know, propping up people. Kendrick Lamar is not. You can't call him an industry plant. He's obviously not an industry. He's very grassroots in the way he got
Yeah,
here.
but I think he became one.
Of course, dude, you don't win that many Grammys every single year
'Cause
without
they really
being
do
an
just
industry.
hand him a Grammy every
You
time
don't
it was
win.
about
Like, dude, he lost to Macklemore, and right after that happened, dude, it was like there was like a, oh my
I mean,
God,
he's
this is the worst mistake
rapper
we've
with
ever
a
met.
Pulitzer Prize for
And
an
dude,
album.
nobody ever like people. That's a funny thing. Like the Pulitzer Prize, you know. Have you ever seen what music wins Pulitzer Prize? It's classical music with no lyrics.
yeah, you're
Like
right.
it has nothing.
And not only
but
the-
because it's Pulitzer, people like this is. It's an industry plant thing, you know? So I don't want to.
100%.
Kendrick is not an industry plant. He's one of the greatest rappers of all time. But they definitely, they thought, okay, Drake right now, he's on the ropes. We have the allegations of the pedo shit had been, the Millie Bobby Brown shit had been stirring in the public discourse forever. So this was like an easy angle type of thing to take. And they're like, we have Kendrick Lamar, which is regarded as like, people give like university classes about his albums and shit
literally.
like that.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So he's regarded as like a hip hop purist. And we're going to boost this guy to be as big as Drake in terms of numbers. We're going to put a whole bunch of bot on Drake's shit. Dude, Drake would drop a diss track and it would have 30 million views in the first day and it would have twice as many dislikes as likes. Like, dude, it was the most unbelievable.
It was wild.
Like you're not fooling anybody right
was
now.
wild.
You know,
It was
there was
wild.
clearly like a
Percentage
big
of comments, the whole,
dude,
like, there was a lot of weird stuff
First of
going
all,
on for a
if you
while.
told me, hey, Drake got bodied and people thought he got bodied, fine. He would have still had a positive like ratio on his diss track when it dropped, and he would have still had more people in his comments liking his shit. He's the biggest fucking rapper of all time. Like,
Ever.
anyways.
That's not even
So
close.
yeah, so it was clearly like, you know, I think it's super clear there was an attempt at an industry takedown. And I think they really thought this time we got him. I think they thought,
I think so too.
This time we have Kendrick Lamar. We're going to elevate this guy. He's going to drop GNX, which is not even like a deep project. It has bops. He's going to try to like take the summer over, kind of how Drake does. You know, we're going to have him do something similar. And yeah, like this was all obviously and clearly planned. And that's why I'm saying I think one of the culminating moments of the whole thing is Lucian Gray and Dr. Dre high-fiving. Dr. Dre, who, by the way, has crazy allegation when it comes to minors. I don't even want to talk about it because it'll get this shit shadow banned. But like, that's like, it's just such a crazy moment in the industry. Right now, people are so blinded by, I have to hate Drake because I need to be on the... But in 10 years, when we talk about this beef, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be the most revisionist history ass shit that we've ever seen in our lives. We're going to be like, actually, it's kind of crazy that
you see it with
they
Joe
let him
Budden
do that at the Super Bowl.
You see
And
it
it's
with
kind
all
of
the podcasts, bro. Even when the album dropped, the first reviews that Budden and them were doing was like they hated Janice Shut the Fuck Up. And a few days later, they were like, beep, beep, baby.
Who's that white guy on the Joe Budden podcast?
Parks.
That guy is a fucking dweeb, dude. Holy shit.
It's so
what
funny.
a dweeb.
He's actually
dude.
really deep in the industry as far
He's
as like
a
being a
fucking
producer,
dope engineer too,
production
yeah.
Dude,
engineer.
at the beginning, it's so funny
Parks
because
on the
when they
boards.
get to the Janice shit, he's like, they're all like, yeah, that was a skip for me. He's like, yeah, there was a couple of skips for me at that point. And I'm like, dude, it's like the fourth song on the album. You had a couple skips on Iceman. Getting up to Janice, you're trying way too hard right now,
it's
dude.
crazy.
You know, Kendrick Lamar is not going to text you, dude. Like, you're doing way too much. And then they all walked it back. Now when they saw like, okay, this is undeniable. Everybody is obviously bumping this. You know what I mean? We have to like have some positive spin on it. Now all of a sudden
crazy
it's
song.
Now you guys
Okay.
are riding the D.
Like you're saying, everybody wants to see the downfall of Drake, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what it looks like. Last episode, I think Basics was talking about like I was talking with my students and I was like, how long have you been listening to Drake?
Yeah,
And
for the
you said it's
length of
been
Drake.
like
Yeah,
decades, right? Almost
It's
at this
been-
point.
yeah, I mean, when I first heard of Drake, he was still Jimmy Brooks on Degrassi.
Facts.
You know, Wheelchair Jimmy. Like the first time, and like that's the crazy thing about Drake. Like when I first started listening to Drake, I was at Dawson, and I was getting made fun of for listening to Drake.
Yeah, because we
This
was on
is-
that, we was on
This
50
is
and Dipset and Wayne
this
back
is
then, brother.
before like Drake linked with Wayne. Like this is like. This
So
is
he was
like
singing,
room for improvement,
yeah.
Drake.
Yeah.
So far gone. So far
When he
gone
had
was
that,
not a made thing yet. It was,
what was
comeback
that,
season.
Trey Songz feature. that he had?
Replacement Girl.
Replace.
That was on
Gonna be my
BET.
replacement.
Exactly.
Let me show
Ladies,
you
make
what
some
it is.
noise
I'm
if you
gonna
want to
raise
be my
Dude, that was a
replacement
crazy track.
girl.
But yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was
I like listening to Drake and seeing the takeover, because Drake comes from an era where I saw Mac Miller, I saw Wiz Khalifa, I saw certain artists, and when I heard some of the some music from them, I was like, this person is gonna fucking blow up. And each time they did. And when I first heard Drake, shout out to Chad Ash, we gotta have your ass up here with your controversial ass.
Two dreads.
Daddy. Trust me, Daddy. He put me onto Drake back in Dawson. And at that time, the consensus of listening to Drake was like,
Soft.
he was like soft because he was like lyrical and he made like songs that were like vulnerable. He
Yeah.
had songs for girls. He was making songs with a guy called Voice from Toronto, like Special. When I play old Drake sometimes to people, like pre-Lil Wayne Drake, pre-So Far Gone, not So Far Gone album that got reconstituted, because So Far Gone was a mixtape.
Yeah.
Before it was an album that you guys think is Drake's first album. No, it was a mixtape that came out. It was his third mixtape after Room for Improvement, Comeback Season, So Far Gone. And we were getting made fun of for listening to Drake. He was still Jimmy Brooks. He was like, the first time he rapped publicly was on Degrassi.
And
He
he
didn't
actually
rap
kinda
as
spazzed.
Drake.
It's when he did the wheelchair
When
rap.
he did,
no?
when he pulls up on stage
Yeah.
when she's bombing,
Yeah.
and then he comes up and he like
was
saves the
spazzing,
day and
yeah.
gives her a #1 Billboard record out of nowhere. But I say to say, like, Drake had, you know, I mean, he said on one of his early mixtapes, he came in the game on level 2, like, because of both sides of his background. Like, Drake is a, you know, high middle class Jewish kid from Toronto who grew up in Forest Hills, which is one of the most affluent neighborhoods in Toronto. And he was a child star who was doing commercials and stuff for McCain fries and shit way before Degrassi. And his Graham family, like the Graham family is like very deep in the music industry. Like his uncle, like his dad is Dennis Graham, who was part of the Graham family band, but his uncle, Larry Graham, is a pioneer bass player.
Yeah.
Like the slap bass technique, he invented that. Like Prince, Bootsy Collins, other people have like learnt that technique and taken it. And like that's Drake's uncle. Like,
Yeah, no, he had big musical influences. Like,
big time. And they never had a golden goose really like Drake before. And I think that what's been going on is an industry doesn't want to lose its biggest money maker. It wants to have some control over what's happening, because that's what happened with the biggest artists before, you know, the Michaels and the Princes and the whoever has come up. That's what they did. I'm gonna let y'all chime in on this now, but like to speak about Lucien and Dr. Dre, like Dre and M found 50, but at a point when 50 was like, I'm the biggest thing on Interscope, you guys ain't shit without me, Jimmy Iovine was like, word? Okay. Hey, Kanye. Hey,
no, exactly. Well, that's exactly the thing.
Graduation needs to kill Curtis.
Well,
Like,
dude, I don't think, like, you know, when I said I think they thought they were gonna get him, like it was gonna be the fall of Drake. I think they thought they were gonna get him on his knees, where they were gonna show him, yo, bro, you're not bigger than the label. You know, like we're the ones who have been giving you this. I've seen people that are gonna. I need to find these takes and need to spin the block on some people, but I've seen people that said when the next Drake album drops, like the next rap Drake album drops after the beef, the label's gonna humble him. After the lawsuit and all that shit, they're gonna humble him. He's gonna get no radio play, which he's getting no radio play.
No radio play.
Fuck, that's actually
And
fucking crazy. I didn't even.
They're
think
like
that.
he's gonna sell
Number one song
200
on Billboard, it's
something.
not on the radio. Even a censored version.
Bro, it's
Yeah.
fucking true.
Janice, shut the fuck up. It's not anywhere.
And look at the contrast of that to Luther, the Kendrick song on the GNX album. Who knows Luther? How does that song start? Nobody knows. You don't know anybody
I
who's
know
ever
it's a good
listened
song
to that
when
song.
I heard it, and GNX
It's not a
was
bad
cool,
song. It's not a bad song.
But it ain't
Nobody.
Janice.
No, I've never ever heard anybody listening to that song, and it wasn't because it's playing on. That song got insane radio play. It stayed number one for an insane amount of
It's one
weeks.
of Kendrick's 5 number one
Yeah.
songs.
And dude, you're gonna tell me it's as good as Humble or whatever his other bigger? No, of course not, dude.
I
It's
mean,
not. Nobody believes that.
I'll just to, like, before I like, you know, let y'all chime in more, and especially Tech, like, you know, Kendrick's 5 number ones, one of them is a feature on a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
And I'm
Is
not
the
going
other
to
one
take that
Maroon
away
5 or
because,
no?
like, you know, like Drake has features on Rihanna joints or whatever the case
Yeah,
may
but
be. Like,
Rihanna-
that's
but
how they-
Rihanna's
no, but
culture,
if
though.
Drake
wait,
did a
wait.
Taylor
Culture,
Swift
bro.
feature,
I
dude,
give
if
away.
Drake
It
had
would
a
go
Taylor
through the.
Swift
It would go through
culture.
the roof. It would be crazy. But my
people
point
would,
is,
no,
is
I'm just saying people would kill him. People would
I
criticize
disagree
him to
because
no
you
end.
remember the iPod commercial where he was singing the Bad Blood when he was working out.
Yeah.
Bad Blood. He wasn't killed. That was great. That was Drake self-deprecating. But wait, my point is I don't take away the Kendrick Taylor Swift because that's how accreditation works.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not saying we should take it away.
That's one of the 5.
Yeah,
Number 2 is Humble. Sit
Which is
down, be humble, which is a
actually-
banger.
actually
Okay?
a banger. Yeah,
And then
like you're
the
telling me,
three
Humble
other
was
the
one of
three
those tracks.
other
It's like,
are
yeah, that makes
songs
sense.
off of GNX. One is Luther and one is Not Like Us.
Well, not like
And
Us
the other
wasn't on
one is
GNX.
Euphoria. So 2 of them are Drake disses, and one of them is on the Drake diss album. So out of the 5 number ones that Kendrick has, one of them is Not Like Us, which is the biggest Drake diss ever. And then there's Euphoria, which was his first response in the Drake beef. And then there's Luther, which is on the GNX Drake diss album.
Yeah, no, that's why.
And then there's 2, where one year alone and 1 year Taylor
That's
Swift.
why the conversation is always hard to have. Is because, like I said, I'm not like a.
And I love Kendrick.
That's what I'm saying. We were talking about this outside. I think Good Kid, Mad City is legitimately one of the best rap albums of all time.
And I think that about To Pimp a Butterfly. Like I've
so
argued
you see, like
for that album.
it's not
since it
because
came out.
I dislike Kendrick, and I think he deserves all the credit people want to give him for all his accolades and even the Grammys. Like, to be honest, like I'm saying you have to be an industry plant to win that many Grammys. Doesn't mean I necessarily disagree that he's winning Grammys. Like when he drops an album, he's likely gonna have the best rap album of the year, unless Drake drops. Like in my opinion, you know what I mean. So I could see it. I understand why he gets all those accolades and all that. But dude, for this specific instance, this time in history where there was this rap beef, it's just, dude, it's just undeniable. When people try to tell me like, no, there was no bots and shit, it's just like, dude, we can't have this conversation in good faith. You know, you can't actually believe that the label wasn't trying to do something here. And like I said, I thought they really thought they were going to humble him. They thought they were going to show him, you can't do this without us. And now the complete opposite happened. And I don't think people are saying he's going to go with an invest. I don't think so. I think he's going to go right back to UMG. And I think they're going to give him like $2 billion. He's going to get the most insane payout.
That was my question that I wanted to ask. Do you think that Drake will ever die out, like as a popular artist?
No.
And is it going to be in 30 years from now? He has that new album, and you're like, he's like a Michael Jackson to all of us, and we're listening to
That's
Drake.
exactly what it's going
I
to be.
think that's what it's going to be for our generation.
I don't know how I feel about the UMG thing though, because honestly, that's the point I was gonna bring up next. Especially like
I'll answer that after.
anybody who we'll get back to that because that's a good point, Steve. But anybody, especially if you're an artist, bro, whether you're really in the industry, whether you're just kind of recreational with it, if you call yourself an artist whatsoever, I don't think people are really paying attention to what's going on here. Drake is taking on the industry, guys.
100%.
This is like the last people who did
Said
this
it on the album, right?
The
He
last
said,
people who did this
I'm
dead.
fighting the man, not suing the rapper.
Exactly, and I'm glad he addressed that though, to be honest. But like this is the thing: you have the biggest artist, without question. Number 2 is not even fucking close in the world, bro. Period. He's leaving the biggest label in the world. UMG, Universal Music Group, is the umbrella group that owns every fucking label you can name right now. He's leaving these guys to go become an independent artist.
Just trying.
It is very interesting. It's fascinating, really, to see what's going to happen next, because what Drake is doing right now, whether us as artists, I don't even know if I should really necessarily include myself, but as artists, what he's doing for every artist, regardless of genre right now, is he's fighting for our rights as artists, because he's literally giving us a blueprint to say, yo, you can go and do this on your own, bro. And like we've seen it before. Obviously, Tech Nine is probably like the number one example who comes to mind as an independent artist, but like this world, but that's Tech Nine. We're talking about the biggest artist in the
it's not
history
even
of
comparable.
the world,
for
brother.
sure.
Drake's least streamed track probably has close to Tech Nine's entire catalog.
Yeah.
And it's not to disrespect Tech Nine.
No,
it's
no,
just to
no,
show
no.
how Drake
But
is like a
different level.
He's
but
a
the
business,
point
you
is,
know?
what he's saying is like Tech Nine for a long time was like in the top 3 or 4 of gross
Income earners. Yeah,
on touring
for
and
sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
After like Jay and Kanye and whatever.
And he had a real like grassroots fan
Facts.
base that like
And if
they
you-
would
same
sell
thing with
out
like a
shows,
Nipsey.
sell
Exactly.
merch,
Same thing
do
with
all
Nipsey
this shit.
Hussle, all
Yeah.
that. Like
But
leverage, you
now
know?
imagine what Drake could do with that.
No, listen, I agree with everything you just said. The reason I said that is that as much as like I said, I'm a Drake stan. I love Drake. I think he's the greatest rapper of all time. I think he might have intended initially to do that. I don't think he wants to lose his life over this shit, bro. Like, I don't think, because if he does that, he's actually going to break the music industry.
Yeah,
He's actually going to
exactly.
change.
Like, what do you
That's
think
my
happens
everything
if,
we know
you know,
about
like,
the
because
music
people have been
industry.
saying like, yo, Drake needs to go Kanye and he needs to make his own independent everything, merch, put his
I don't know
music,
if he
this and that,
wants
right?
to,
If
like-
Drake puts out an Iceman vinyl.
Did you know how much work that, like,
But
Drake's an artist.
That's what I'm talking
But he's a
about.
billionaire
about,
too. He
like-
could hire a team, brother.
He could, but like, I especially with everything that just happened, I don't think you want to start hiring industry people to like. I don't think he
Yeah,
wants
facts.
that. Like, you know, he already knows. Like, I think he'd rather deal with. That's why I said I think he's going to stay with UMG, because I don't think he's trying to die, and I think he'd rather deal with the devil that you know than like. I don't know that. I think his team around him, the OVO team. He has amazing producers. He has some tough guys. He has the rep sub guys. He has like, you know, he has a bit of everything, his team, but I don't think he has like a fucking universal type label that
No,
he
of
can
course.
set. You know what I mean? And that's what he would need to set up, because he's the golden goose.
See, but
He
that's
would need
universal.
to
That's
set up
where
He would need to
something
set up
that's-
something completely.
That's where I don't know if I agree, bro, because Drake is so big that, like, realistically, let's think about this. If Drake just came out 6 months from now and said, okay, guys, I'm putting out a 4-track project. There's no, like, I'm going to shoot fucking low budget videos. I'm going to put it all up on Spotify. Here's the graphic. Go stream it. We're all going to go listen to it regardless.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a UMG behind him he's Drake, bro. Like, we're all going to consume it no matter what.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's the thing. He's Drake. Like him, it's not just he's putting out a music video. When Drake puts out a
It's
music
gotta be
video,
like the greatest shit.
and not only that, some people are gonna live off that for the rest of their lives. You understand what I mean? He's literally gonna change maybe 50 people's lives when he shoots that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything Drake does, every album he drops.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. The girl on the fucking
Japanese bitch?
Yeah, ran to
No.
Molly
no.
Santana.
You're talking about Molly Santana. I thought you were going to talk about the
other one that was
skit
on
at
the-
the end of the plot twist joint. But yeah, Molly Santana.
Molly. Look at her. her numbers that she's doing right now.
Her
Her life has changed
Spotify went from
forever.
just under 500K monthly to 7.9 million.
But again,
So
I'm
that's
not convinced he can't do that on his own.
I'm not
guys.
saying he can't. I'm just saying that think about all the people he's feeding at the label right now. All the people he's feeding at Spotify right now. All the people he's feeding at iTunes. Like, dude, there's there's people right now, okay, that the way they pay their bills, the way they pay their mortgage is they make a hate video about Drake every single day, okay, with a big picture of his face, and they're like, Drake is done now. Oh my God, Drake can't do it. And
We
they
should make
do
some of those videos.
You honestly, guys, if you guys want to make easy
That's
money on
hilarious,
YouTube,
bro.
just make videos like that. Don't use too many bad words, so it stays monetized,
facts.
and just say
Keep
bad
that
things about Drake.
monetization, you know?
Just say
Drake
bad
try
things
more.
about Drake, and you will actually get like 50,000,
get a lot more views than
75,000
what we get right now.
100%.
No, but-
You'll get more views than the most interesting content in the world.
that's-
Just because
People love hate.
there's a market, there's literally an industry around. So that's why I'm saying like everything it entails. And listen, I hope it happens. I would love, I would love in my lifetime to see literally the crumble of the music empire as we know it. We've been calling out the end. That's why it's funny that people are so mad that Drake is suing the label. I get it. I get that the optics after the battle and all that, but dude, people have been calling for this, this separation of freeing the artists from the labels. People have been calling for this since I've been listening to hip hop at a very young age. It's always been a thing that the labels are the bad guys essentially, and they catch people in 360 deals, and they do this and they do that, and they're there to exploit you, and they'll give you an advance, but then they're gonna,
I mean, bro, listen.
When have we ever
Q-Tip
talked
said
said
it when he
one
was
good thing about
with
labels?
Tribe Called Quest? Industry rule 4080. Industry people are shady.
It's always been we've always been unanimously on the side of fuck the labels, and now all of a sudden everybody's like,
I'm happy
you
you
know what?
said
I don't
that.
know if
I'm
I
happy
don't know
you're
if
saying
we
that,
should be
bro.
suing them though.
Because you're saying independent, you're saying I think he's going to, and for me, it's let's go back to the conspiracy theory basics. You think that they're gonna let this person walk away
Look at Tupac and Biggie.
from
bro.
what? Not even that. They weren't earning like that. I'm talking about Michael and Prince. I'm talking about and if you really,
they did kill, by
if
the
you really listen,
No, but just so we're clear.
Yeah, just so
they
well,
did kill
listen,
Michael
just so
and
the
Prince.
conspiracy is fully
Listen,
laid out.
Let's be clear.
if you really pry through some of Drake's music, especially for the last few years, especially since the battle, he's been
Even before
very
the battle.
he's been very laying seeds of yo, if something happens to people make those joke videos where they're just I don't have suicidal ideation. I'm healthy. You know what I mean? He's been laying seeds like that in his even on Say My Name here, or is it on Dust where he's saying I have industry secrets, or no, it's on Shebang where he's
Yeah.
oh, industry, I might take this
Well,
to my
I take
death.
it
I
to
don't know,
my
I haven't
grave, they don't
decided
know,
yet.
yeah.
He's talking
he's
about
been
he's
hinting
talking about
about-
yo, you're island hopping and you got
Yeah,
names got
dude, he's-
redacted.
he's been hinting at
he said a
secret
lot of
shit
even
for a
on
while.
on Bees on the Table. That's when it clicked for me, because he sent me the stream when it came out. And in the stream, he's wearing the jacket with the RBC and Canadian Tire and all these logos and all this stuff. And then we've been seeing the stuff online going crazy about using Drake in any way, shape, or form. And in Bees on the Table, he says a line at a point, and he says something like, yo, I got pictures and da-da-da in a safe, keeping it safe.
He's
in
been
case,
saying
da-da-da,
in
you know
case,
what I mean?
yeah, in
And for me,
case
that's
we need
my
to-
whole point is yo, if you're the label, okay, we tried to take you down, whatever the case may be, right? But it's okay, we get it, bro. You proved your point. You did what you did. You did the 3 albums. It's going crazy. Okay, you're the number one guy. It is what it is, bro.
Here's
we
$5
tried to prop
billion.
this guy up. Okay,
Well, that's what
it
I'm-
is
that's-
what it is.
that's what I'm-
You recouped the money we gave
I
you
think
way
he's
too
gonna
fast.
have them sit down
and
at the
you
table,
gotta
bro,
but
with
my,
their hands like this, bro,
But my
looking
point
down
is,
Drake,
it's
would
gonna
you
take a
please?
lot. I think Drake isn't fighting. I get it. He's fighting for our rights, but to me, the bigger picture Drake thing of what he's fighting for is he's fighting for a seat at that table.
He might
he's
drop
fighting
an
for a seat
independent
at
album.
the table that Jay-Z's sitting at, where Jay-Z's able to take the call that says, "Oh, Kendrick for the Super Bowl." Yeah. Sure. And at the same time, Jay-Z's in an interview saying, yo, beef, no, not good. We shouldn't be beefing and battle rapping.
Oh, we got some Jay to talk
We
about.
got some hoes to talk about.
We got some
you know
Jay
what
to
I mean?
talk about,
And so
brother.
that's what I mean about I don't think they just let Drake go independent because like you're saying, a lot of the system is based on you. The move to streaming, like if we really want to get conspiracy theorists, this is great clips, bro. But like the move to streaming, specifically Spotify as a platform, Drake was a huge tool in that shift from physical sales to streaming sales. Yeah. Drake was a part of that, and maybe not the biggest, but maybe the biggest. Definitely. If you put him with the Taylor Swifts and the Bad Bunnies and the Drakes.
Guys, let me start you with this one. Now, since you talked about Jay-Z.
Why you said it like that?
Since you guys talked about Jay-Z.
So you threw Yo,
Steve going crazy with it, bro. We needed a camera on that one, bro.
You threw a link in the group chat. You're like, yo, Jay-Z went off on
the freestyle.
On the freestyle. He took the bait. That's what everybody's saying online. He took the bait.
He did want to talk about Hove.
I was looking at the comments as well. I'll let you guys get into this.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
The comments I was looking at, and a lot of people were like clowning on Jay-Z, saying, yo, he said a whole lot of nothing right there. What's your take on that, guys?
Well, I don't think I'm gonna let you guys go crazy with this. I'm gonna let y'all speak, and I'll jump in with the freestyle and the lyrics and whatever. But to answer your question from earlier about Drake coming back and making noise, etc., and is he gonna ever die out? Look at Hove. When Hove comes out of nowhere, everybody goes crazy. When in America, in America. Okay, but what I'm saying is like when Hove comes and drops an album, whatever, like. Even though we can go conspiracy theory again, and there's never been a year in career of Jay-Z where he's actually the #1 rapper in the game because it was DMX and Ja Rule and da-da-da. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is, back to me saying, I think what Drake really wants isn't more money.
No, of course not.
And it's not more leverage over the label. He wants access to things that he hasn't been afforded yet. He wants to be in meeting rooms with higher people than NFL powers to... Fuck saying yes or no to the Super Bowl. I want to be part of like who's choosing.
Yeah, but that's either way. That's not an industry move. Like at the level where Drake is, that's just a matter of time. He's just not old. Like he's not even 40 years old yet. You know, like by the time he's 50 years old, he's gonna own a sports team,
like,
and he's gonna.
Jay's been in the game since.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
Drake is already, by all accounts, a billionaire. By the time Jay's age, you know, I have no doubt that he's gonna be
a major owner in the fucking Raptors.
I think he's gonna be. Yeah, I think he's gonna own a sport team, or he already owns part of a soccer team. No,
I think so. He's got a lot of investments.
Anyways, but for the Jay shit,
Hove. Yeah.
Hove. I think his shit was cool. I thought like he didn't say nothing. I thought he had like some.
He
cool
had some bars
shit.
in it.
He had a lot of schemes. He talked about a lot of people. He definitely didn't say nothing.
I thought,
bro, he had some double, triple, quadruple.
I thought the Tory Lanez shit was really pussy. I thought that was like, you're rapping about a guy that's in jail that has nothing to do with you, really.
But I feel like it's part of the Rock Nation allegation of like getting him locked up with the fucking
Of course it is,
shit.
but it's still, I don't know. To me, it was like, why are you rapping at a guy that's locked up? That, you know, to me, that one was corny. But the rest of the shit was...
And his dad too, right? He rapped at Tory and his dad.
Yeah, because his dad been going off on Jay since...
Yeah, but even that, it's like, you're kind of giving... To me, I think you look way better if you don't address that shit. Like, why are you addressing that, but you're not addressing the Epstein shit? You know what I mean? Why are you addressing that, but Drake called you out for being on the Epstein list, and you're like, let's talk about my investments.
Yeah,
like,
but
bro,
you know
what are you talking about?
I feel like Drake didn't officially say that about him.
Super officially said that about him.
If you're intelligent, you can see what he was saying.
And
Even
Hove
about
is
the
very
married couple, power couple stuff.
I would garner that Hove is probably above average IQ.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he very much understood
Hove's
what
a
Drake
genius,
was.
brother.
I don't disagree.
But-
So that's why I'm saying we're not going to play the... Maybe Hove didn't know that he said no.
Because
he was clearly talking about the Epstein
If you look historically at the way Jay has always addressed his beefs,
thank you.
One of his biggest ways to get back at you is to just simply not address you. That's always been Jay's shit. Always. Like, yo, listen, you're not even worth.
I'm about $1. What the fuck is a 50 cents?
Yeah, but that doesn't really count. Yeah, but that doesn't really count because he addressed him, and that was one of the biggest moments in 50's early career. You know what I mean?
No, but Dre does cryptic shit. Like when after their beef with Nas, like he would, you know, he talked about it on the Blueprint too. Like, so people complaining about Drake talking about it on Iceman 2 years later, like Jay did that as well. So Drake's just following that blueprint, and then Jay Nas would have an album coming out, then a couple weeks later Jay's like, oh, I'm gonna drop that day too.
Yep.
I'm gonna drop a single that
Super
day,
petty.
Just a song.
Super
you know
petty.
what I mean? Just a song. Just One song, bro.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. And like, I feel like Drake feels that way about Kendrick, low key.
I think we were talking about
Hov,
took
like-
debate or whatever. I think there's a very real possibility of not just Hove. I think there's a very good possibility that Drake has been writing for 2 fucking years, and he has a whole bunch of shit to say about a whole bunch of people, and he took all because dude, you don't come out of the biggest beef of your career where people thought you were dead. Okay, you made the miraculous comeback. You're obviously still the biggest artist in the world. People are giving you your flowers because your album is really good. Now you're taking shots at Hove. You have to have a plan. I'll never believe that Drake went through all the shit he went through and came back with no plan. And I think, and these, like, he took shots in every single song on the album, but they were very in passing, you know, like they're bops. You
That's
listen
what
to
I
Janice
mean. That's
and you're
what
not
I
thinking
mean.
about a diss. You're not thinking about a beef. You're just vibing, you know? He does that a lot in the album. But I think, because all these shots that he's taking warrant a response, right? Like, we wouldn't be like, if Kendrick
From the
responds
person.
now,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
be
for
like,
sure.
oh, why is Kendrick address? Like, it all warrants it. Like, now that Jay-Z's responding, I thought the Tory shit was corny. Him responding to Drake isn't corny at all. I think he's a rapper,
called for it.
Yeah, for
especially if
sure.
you're about
Yeah,
to drop
for
an
sure.
album or whatever, and Drake just called you out. This is the best fucking thing that could have ever happened to you. Of course you're gonna, and I think he's gonna spit more shit in New York when he does his
Oh yeah, probably.
his show there, you know? So I understand that. I forgot where I was going with this.
Let's-
but-
Well,
let's
let me
go-
let me
ahead.
just quick segue off what you were saying because
Oh,
it
wait, my
reminds
bad.
me of
I
something
just wanted
that
to say
Kanye
something
was saying.
before I
no,
forget.
go ahead.
It was just about what I was gonna get to is this whole beef shit, this whole back and forth shit. I think it was baiting, and you know, some people were saying, "Oh, Drake is still talking about the beef 2 years later." There will not be a point in Drake's career going forward where he is not going to talk about this. Like, he was called a pedophile on the Super Bowl halftime show. There will be no album that's like a rap type album, you know, where Drake is not going to take shots, where Drake is not going to flex, that he's a bigger artist, that Kendrick is short, that he's going to do it
for
all
sure,
the
100%.
time.
Triggered.
And
That's-
and I think, and like I said, I do think he's baiting. I do think he's hoping for a
That's
remedy.
what I wanted to segue off of, which is something that Drake does and has done through his career, but it's something that Jay has done through his career too, which is because Kanye said when he was on Drink Champs, he was like, Drake will diss you, but it's like only you know what he's talking
You're the
about.
only one who knows. Yeah.
And Jay
that's
for
always been Jay's calling
for a
card, brother.
long
Always,
time.
yeah.
Jay talked to Cameron on I think it was on the Black album that he retired, and he said something along the lines of dudes were throwing rock signs out of your whip, like when Cam's car got shot up.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
Fire.
Jay has done that. And that's to me what Drake was doing through this album. That's what I said. That's what I meant about like it wasn't he didn't have a bar where he literally was like Jay-Z and Beyonce were in the Epstein Island.
obviously.
Like, you know what I mean?
But also,
everybody
that
knows
just also
that-
wouldn't be creative. Like, you know what I mean?
No, but for him to have bars like that on like Too Hard for the Radio, or like certain songs where it's just
But
like
it's
you're
also-
subtly doing it. You're doing it really.
He's doing it subtly, I agree, but he also made it very explicit on the album that he's dissing Jay, like in multiple songs.
Oh, yeah, for
he
sure.
disses
When he said,
Jay-Z.
"I'll take the
so
fucking
when that
500K
becomes,
instead
so
of
when
the
you get
lunch."
to Too Hard for the Radio, which is like at the bottom of the album, and you hear that, you're like, okay, he's definitely talking about Jay-Z because he's been shooting at this motherfucker for like 5 tracks now. So he's definitely talking about.
Here's the thing. It's all the fine print and all the details are all great. Here's the question. Who wins?
Drake.
If Drake and
I know you're gonna
Jay-Z
say Drake.
battle,
Yeah, who wins? Who wins?
I don't even think Jay-Z could like
Jay-Z
I don't even
will
think Jay-Z
not-
could win the narrative battle. Like
Jay-Z
that's
will
Drake's
not
biggest
engage
weakness, right?
in that because Jay-Z told you already not just what he thinks would happen, but in his mind, it's like what he said in the freestyle
He has
to
to, like,
Drake
come down to
about
his
like,
level, like-
wrong chart, champ.
Yeah,
You got to
exactly.
look up again. I'm up 10. You know, those
was fire.
crackers on your publishing. Go talk tough to them.
That was fucking
Like,
fire.
That's fire.
That's
like
fucking
the
fire.
stuff
guys.
he
Come on.
said at a point, and that's what I mean about like Drake wanting a seat at the like Jay-Z is at the seat at the table where he can take the call from Dre or whoever it was to say, yo, Kendrick for the Super Bowl this year. Like
Yeah, but
you're
that's
at the table to
but
talk to the
that's-
but Drake isn't.
Once again, that's not an impressive thing in
No,
rap.
I'm not
no one
saying
cares
that's an
about
impressive
that.
thing in rap, but what I'm saying is that's why Jay-Z at this place in his Jay-Z laid the blueprint for him not beefing with Drake in that interview before he ever responded by saying like, yo, there's no space in battle rap for
Yeah, but you can't.
know
That's
what I
kind of
mean?
corny.
There's
You
no
can't say
space
that
for
and then
that anymore.
respond.
And then,
Like, you
yeah,
can't
but that's it. And he's getting
say
called
that
out for
after
it.
responding.
He's getting,
Maybe
he's
you know,
getting
be like,
called out
oh,
for
you
it,
know what? Now, you know, I think we should stop this shit. But like, dude, you can't fucking. And like I said, I'm not mad at Jay. I like that. I want to see Jay.
I would love to
Start
see
rapping.
Drake and Jay go at it, but
I don't
think that's gonna
But dude,
happen.
I don't think.
I don't think
don't know.
Jay wants to open himself
Once again,
up.
Jay is intelligent, dude. I don't think Jay thinks he raps better than Drake.
Oh, I think he does.
I don't think he does.
I think he definitely
I don't
does.
think he does.
Oh, you were talking about
I
Hov, dog.
think
I don't think he
okay.
does.
I think he
don't
thinks
think he
he
does.
raps better than him. I think he's also.
We're talking about Hov.
I think the only thing that
Guys,
I think
Hov.
wait. I think the
I don't
thing
think
that
Hov
Hov
is-
really has.
This guy got beat
is
up by a
like
girl in an
feeling
elevator.
like what you said about he
But
can't
you
win the
can't hit her
narrative.
back, though. Yeah, come on.
Okay, but what I'm
You're
saying,
Hov.
you said about can't win the narrative.
Yeah.
That's what Jay-Z knows. He knows that no matter what I do, if I come out, I can't come out and talk to Drake like Kendrick did. I can't come out and talk to Drake like Pusha did, Meek.
But why?
I'm
Why?
Jay-Z.
Why?
Well, no, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's that Jay-Z has way too much dirt on it. Like, dude, Jay-Z has dated like 15 and 16-year-olds.
this
Like,
is what I'm
he's
sa-
actually got the venomous dirt that has been
I
such
mean, when
a...
him and
Now I
Beyonce met,
understand.
she was a
Now I
minor.
understand.
That's what I'm
Also.
saying. That's
Now
what
I understand what
I
you
don't
mean.
think... And not only... There's that.
You know,
there's
R.
him.
Kelly wasn't the only one with Aaliyah when she was too young.
Exactly.
Jay-Z also was.
So if we're all of a sudden doing this Chris Hansen shit in rap, I don't think Jay-Z wants to be part of a rap battle. I don't think there's any... And honestly,
Take the AK out of Drake, and what do you get? You get the
that
fucking.
was-
That was a crazy
maybe I'd
part
be
of
in
that.
jail.
That was hard. But I mean, also he's 50, so I mean, like, I don't necessarily know if I want to see Jay come outside on some battle rap shit.
Yeah, I've always said I'm tired of seeing these old men rap. But Jay is one of the guys, and I think Drake will be one of the guys.
Yeah. He's
That
timeless.
he
He's
still
timeless.
sounds
He's timeless.
relevant. Like that shit that we were saying, that shit's tough, you know? Like that shit is actually tough. I think he still sounds good. I think he's still like his writing is up to par with what we would expect for like
for sure.
nowadays type of bars. Like it's not like Eminem, you know? Like I don't want to hear anything new from Eminem. Like
Which
I
is
think
very
Eminem was one of the
unfortunate,
greatest of all
man.
times. I think he had like an era, like
He did
Eminem
like
show
he
that was
kind of did the
Absolutely,
Mike Tyson
absolutely.
thing where he just kept fighting for too long. He should have just
way
retired,
too
brother.
long.
Yeah.
think-
Way too long.
You know what? I don't disagree, but I don't agree also. And what I mean by that is like some artists, no matter how old they get, they don't lose their musicality or their sonic appeal of.
But you don't feel
the
M kind
mu-
of did?
Eminem did.
I
100%.
do think
Okay,
he did,
okay,
but
okay.
that's what I mean is like Jay-Z hasn't, like some
No, that's what I'm
older
saying.
rappers.
Yeah, that's what we know. That's what I just said.
haven't
He's one of the
lost
few.
that ability
But I
and
think
that
many rappers,
musicality.
like Chief Keef, won't be able to rap when he's 50 years old. You know, I don't think a lot of
I don't even want to
rappers.
hear him rap now.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm just being honest. like,
That's what I'm saying. I don't think a lot of rappers have either the type of content or the type of writing that can be appealing once they become a fucking family man, you know, like your kids are adults now or almost, you know, like you're not, you know, you're not talking, well, and Jay-Z still does, he still talks about bricks and shit, but it works, you know, like he has like, look, same thing for Pusha, you know, this guy's talking about selling cocaine, like, dude, like everybody knows he doesn't sell cocaine, but it's cool. Like he raps in a way, he has like this approach, you know.
He sells it.
that
Back
could
to
be
our
a
argument about
50-year-old.
debates. He sells it.
Yeah.
Some people, you're gonna buy what they're fucking selling you, no matter who they fucking are.
And it's not a debate, right? Because if it was a debate, and this comes back to my point of what I was saying, everybody loves Pusha. We all listen to Pusha. I like when he talks about cocaine. But if I was debating him, I'm pretty sure I could easily prove that he doesn't sell cocaine.
yeah,
and he would look pretty stupid.
you don't
right?
have a criminal record.
Well, it all comes down to like, that's why I'm saying like, yes, there's the snake oil salesman, but debate always finds a way to like, you know, like uncover the like, oh my God, who's this? Like the Scooby-Doo, you know, at the end, like, what is this?
My biggest gripe with that, I would say, if we're talking about examples, would be Rick Ross, bro. I can't stand Rick Ross. Like, he's just so obviously
Officer Ricky?
fake, bro. Like, it's
Officer
fake.
Ricky?
And to me, it's like, let's take it. Let's be real for a second. Like, if you call yourself a street guy, quote unquote, you're a street guy, and you're running around listening to a fucking CO. talk about selling bricks that we know he never sold bricks, bro. Like the guy's a fucking CO.
Dude, he stole the identity of someone.
But like,
bricks.
not
That's
only
the
like
crazier
not
part.
only because
That's the
listen,
real crazy
Listen,
part.
I'm Tech Luciano. I took it from Lucky Luciano. Like it's a thing in rap. We do it.
sure,
but like I didn't call myself Charles Lucky Luciano and get the same haircut
Irv
as
Gotti,
him.
bro.
Like that's
No,
crazy.
well, exactly. Yeah, no, but it's not even that, dude. It's you didn't call yourself Vito Rizzuto, bro. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
didn't call yourself
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
famous, like you know what I mean, someone that people know in a certain community. That
I mean,
so-
Irv Gotti. That's the thing that I brought up earlier. Like Irv Gotti from
Yeah, he took
Murder
the
Inc.
Gotti,
He
but
took
he's
the
still
Gotti,
Irv.
but he's
Rick
still
Ross
Irv.
took
Yeah,
the
Rick
guy's
Ross,
whole
the
government
cocaine
name, brother.
kingpin, yeah, for
and
sure.
the story and the likeness, and
Yeah.
it's just
like he raps about his. It's like if Irv Gotti was rapping about being the Teflon Don and about how like he's like rapping about
He's
when
the
I went to
hitman
court
for the
this.
mob.
Yeah, when I went to court for this, like like
When
it's,
I smoked this guy in public, bro.
And then like we all know the guy's a fucking burger, bro. He comes to Canada, gets punched in the face, and leaves
That's
his team
hilarious.
to get beat up while he's running away. But you're the biggest
that's
gangster. in-
actually hilarious.
Oh, fuck outta
No,
here
he's
with
not.
that
But
shit.
you know what's sad about that whole Rick Ross shit
Selling
is that
2-for-1 tickets.
yeah,
It's
well,
hard-
dude, who
it's
listens
hard out here.
to Rick Ross now? Nobody
It's hard
listens
out
to
here,
Rick
bro.
Ross
Gets that
now,
good,
you know.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's sad because Rick Ross is someone that would have really benefited from not beefing with Drake, from taking Drake's side. He's the type of guy as like a complimentary piece in the game. He was, dude. I love Rick Ross songs.
Aston
He had some,
Martin,
dude.
you
came
But
back
that's the
for
best
you.
part of the song. That's what's so ironic about Rick Ross being in the verses and being like, yeah, you guys can sing that part of the song. I'm not gonna sing
Well,
it.
you look
and
like
then
a
the crowd
fucking-
sings that part louder than
Bro,
any
you
other
look-
part
the
of the
highlight of his whole
concert.
verse.
The
The
guy's
highlight
a
of his whole shit.
burger.
The highlight
bro.
of the song is "Woulda came
Exactly.
back for you." I just need, even the other joint that he did. You wasn't with me taking. She wasn't with me putting shots in the gym.
All of them, dude. All of them. Was he on Stay Scheming? Is that it?
Yeah,
Stay
that's
Scheming?
that's Stay
And-
Scheming.
Yeah. So
when he
dude,
rest in peace, Mamba.
Rick Ross, he's a good actor because he's a very good actor.
Yeah.
You got to give it to him.
And he's
Like,
hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, he's a troll.
And you know what?
He's a,
he can
that's what I'm
rap.
saying.
I will say,
Of course.
he can
No,
rap.
Ross-
He's
Ross
actually
is
a good
dope.
rapper. He can
Yeah.
rap his ass off.
Yeah.
But I
And
can't
he
listen
makes
to
good
it.
music.
No, me
I
too.
can't-
I'm
that's
at
how
a
to
point
make good
now
music.
where
listen
I'm
to it.
checked
I'm
out because
sorry.
he did too much corny shit.
Yeah,
like
I
at some
can't do it.
point, it's just I seen you do so much corny shit that I disapprove of.
Yeah.
That now, like like it's very hard for me to listen to this shit. And like I was already looking past the CO
I couldn't-
selling brick shit.
I never
was
could get
already.
past that.
I was okay with that. I don't give a. I don't
never
think
get past that.
99% of these
COs,
rappers.
the COs are some of the most dirtiest people out there, bro. So.
Yeah, like I think you could be a criminal and be a CO. It's just a crazy. Like you can't be the CO. You could be a criminal and be a
after, no
CO,
problem.
but you can't be a CO and be a drug kingpin. Like you can't sell yourself as being
Brother,
part of a criminal life
first
if
of
you're a
all-
law enforcement. You know, like
Thank
you can't.
But
it can't be that.
let's also really, because I don't think people really understand. Let's break this down. Let's break down what a
an hour
fucking
and a half.
CO does. Let's break down what a CO does. You're talking about selling bricks and being in the streets, and you're a drug kingpin, the head of this criminal organization. When the reality is, what you were doing is you were telling guys, lights out, yo, shower time, get the fuck off the phone.
Yeah.
Yo,
that's what he was doing in real
was
life.
the
telling real
plug, bro.
drug guys, real kingpin guys.
Maybe he
And
was the plug behind bars.
listen,
He was
I-
the
you know
one
what?
maybe.
I don't
who
even.
was saying
I
like,
don't even
yo,
doubt.
turning his head.
I don't even doubt, dude, that maybe.
I'm just joking, by the way. He
he's
wasn't,
been
but,
part
like,
of
I'm-
some. No, but maybe, dude. Like he said, COs for real are
Do that.
notoriously
Bro,
because they don't
there's
make that much
fucking
money.
drug
They're
rings.
notorious, but. If he did ever do anything that was like that, whether it was in the jail or somebody from inside the jail said, I could get you something outside of here, we could set up something, whatever it was, he was definitely a worker. He was never a big boss.
was never-
he was
he
never
was
the
never
big
the
Miami
boss,
boss.
Rick Ross.
Bring
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
it. Like,
yeah, for
never,
sure.
ever. That never happened.
Bro, for me, like,
that's
if-
never been a
no,
thing.
the real Noriega doesn't
know
Rick
you,
Ross,
bro.
the rapper,
Exactly. Fucking
100
know you,
favors.
bro.
Exactly.
That was an incorrect
It
statement
was a
in
fire
your
bar,
lyrics.
but
sir.
it's I mean, you know.
I know
But
the real
despite
Noriega.
everything I'm saying, I think it's sad because I do think he's a very good rapper. I think
do
he's a
too.
good actor,
Yep.
which kind of helped him sell the whole persona. And like you said, like he's super personable. Like
He's
you see
hilarious.
him when he films himself or whatever, he's funny. He's so people like that, and he's successful. He's a successful
Super
business guy.
successful,
Like
100%.
he made good music, but he then took that money and reinvested it well. And so, bro, he has a lot of shit going for him. But dude, it's like he can't help himself but pick these losing. Like, dude, don't beef with like 50 Cent and Drake. Dude.
That's never a good
You know
idea,
what I
by the
mean?
way.
Like, what do you do? Why would you do like that? Is not. You know how they say all press is good. That is not good press. Like, all publicity is not good publicity. And beefing with guys like 50 Cent or Drake is a very bad idea for anybody. You know, like so. Yeah, I don't know what his game plan is. I don't know what his end goal is, but it's looking very. I don't know what his next album sells, but.
Wood. It's gonna go wood.
It's not gonna be
gonna
the
go
six
wood.
figures.
When
I'm telling
need
you
to
right
put
now.
50% off on tickets for the
It's hard out here.
anniversary
Buy
tour.
one, get one
For the anniversary tour of your biggest album, which was your first album, like the thing that really blew you up and put you on the map. That's kind of hard.
And he's out here hating on 50. Let's not act like 50 just did
sad.
2 sold out world tours globally. Globally.
Oh,
Dude,
facts.
50
He was
is-
here in Montreal going
50
crazy.
is always
nights in a
gonna
row.
sell
Yeah,
out. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
you tell me I'm anywhere in the world. I could
Bro,
be traveling. You
50
tell me
could
50
tour-
Cent is playing in the city
50
where I'm at.
could
We're
tour-
going. Let's go. You know, like it's
100%.
50,
50
bro.
could tour the world just off the Get Rich or Die Trying album.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
of course.
Just off that one album.
course.
I'm not going to perform anything else. I'm going to perform just that.
That
Of
is,
course.
by the way,
And I
my
would
favorite
pay,
hip
dude,
hop album of all time.
If he did that,
Yeah.
I would pay $500 a ticket
Easy.
with a smile on my face, ear to ear, in the nosebleeds,
Just
bro.
to go live- just to
singing
go live that
every
again.
single
Bro,
song,
come on, dog.
word for word, you know? But Rick Ross is not that. And he'll never be that. You know what I mean?
not even
And
close.
he's a troller, but he's not like a 50 Cent type troller.
No.
And he's an artist that has like, okay, he has big songs, but dude, he's not like a Drake. Like, dude, why would you? I don't know. I don't know what his game
He
plan
has
is.
moments. He has moments here and there in the culture. He's had his
Yeah.
moments, but he's never taken over the game, and he never will.
No, he never did. But
Absolutely
he
not.
had
He
some,
doesn't
like when he
have a-
dropped
he doesn't have
Diced
a
Pineapples,
super crazy album.
Like when he was dropping music with Wale and Meek Mill, like dude, he was dropping some good music.
Yeah,
like,
Maybach Music
legitimately,
at its
like,
peak
yeah.
was
There
a fire-ass
legitimately, like,
label.
some
It was
I'm
really
gonna
good
give
fire.
shit to you guys. It was fire.
Maybach
And-
music was dope.
It was fire.
And yeah, like it's just the fall off has been monumental though. It's been incredible. Like now there's like you tell me a new Rick Ross album drop, I don't even want to listen to it. Like
Crickets.
not even like I'll listen to it to be like kind of to hate on it because no, not even. I don't even want to hear that
Same here.
shit.
It's
Like
not
I
even in my
really
stratosphere.
don't want to hear it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you were about to go into
No,
something.
no. I was asking if you had something else to say on this one.
Because you talked about like he never took over the game,
Yeah.
right? And it leads me back to retrospect. To talk about Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, etc. The GOAT argument, right? To me, and I said this with friends before, but I don't know if I've ever said this publicly, so exclusive Hustle podcast. In order to have a claim to me to be the GOAT in hip hop, if you were at never one point in your career, I don't care if it was for fucking 2 months, but you have to have been at some point in your career the number one rapper in the game.
Unanimous.
And by number one, I just mean like, yo, numbers, people are fucking scared of you. Like motherfuckers don't want, like at a point Eminem, it was just
for
like,
sure.
it was like, bro,
That 2
nobody
album run-
was trying to
that
say
2
M's
album
name
run,
because it was
100%.
like,
Yep.
oh God, I would give them 3. I'll give them the Eminem show. You know what I mean?
I think the Eminem
Marshall,
is his best
Slim
album
Shady,
to me.
Marshall, and
I
Eminem
think the
show.
Eminem show has
Absolutely,
no
Eminem show
skips.
is amazing.
I think it's
absolutely.
amazing. I'm gonna have
to go
His
back and
first
listen to
three,
three back
his
to
first
back.
3 were absolute. But that's what I mean. So like for me, it's like it brings up a funny because to me, Rick Ross is nowhere. Bro, Rick
He's
Ross
not even
is
in the conversation.
Yeah,
bro,
but-
Rick Ross isn't even in the top 20,
There's- I would
say top
25.
100. I would say top
like,
100,
I was gonna say top 50, but I could.
He's not in
I
the
could
top 25.
easily snap off 25 rappers
He
that are
might
way
be
better
in
all
the top
time.
50. He might be in the
Maybe.
top 50. For me,
Maybe.
I'm talking about for rappers I like. He might, but I don't even think he's.
But like is different than who would you say is
Consensus.
the GOAT? Like in your GOAT list
in
argument?
GOAT list, no, he's not.
In your GOAT list
but, okay,
argument,
but this is
he's
a good,
not making a top
before
50.
Well, I don't know if
Because
you
your
guys wanted
GOAT
to
is
segue.
Drake
Yes.
and your GOAT is Hove.
I'm kind of leaning towards Drake these days a little bit though. It's changing. It is changing.
And for a long
fair.
time for me, my GOAT was M.
Yeah, that's a fair one too.
Even with the fall off sonically and musically. But I'm slowly but surely starting to look at Drake. And I'm very interested to see where this goes and what happens in the next couple of years with Drake. But I'm starting to look at Drake like, damn, son. I'm starting to really get that Canadian pride back again.
That Canadian.
Yo,
And be like, this is my boy
Ken,
from.
you guys don't see me,
this
bro?
is my
You guys
boy
don't
when
see
I
me,
was
bro?
in Dawson, and people were making fun of mans, bro.
Goat it up.
You know what I mean? And you
Goat
guys
it
are
up.
saying Drake is
But
whack, bro.
dude, that's a very interesting point that you're saying. Like, to be the GOAT, you have to be the best at any given time.
At
or
some
whatever.
point, you have. So if
Which is
somebody
a
tells
fair-
me like Lil Wayne is the GOAT,
Yeah.
you can argue that.
You could definitely argue that.
Because there was a point where Lil Wayne was the fucking guy. Yeah.
But that's a very good, like, a good analogy for that, like a good comparison for that is basketball. I'm going to surf this shit for a minute. Because in basketball, we kind of do the same thing where, like, you know how I was saying people are mad at Drake, people are jealous at Drake, whatever, because he's been dominant for so
The
long.
LeBron effect.
It's the LeBron effect. It's that maybe the reason that Rick Ross was never number one in the game is because Drake was actually number one for fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of guys that came and went during that run that could have been the number one guy, that would have been the number one guy, but they had no chance. They literally had no chance.
So funny that you say that.
And LeBron did that, dude. LeBron, when he was in the East, going to the finals every single year.
For like, what, 10 years?
Imagine building a team, you know, like you started putting your roster, like for 5 years, you're building the team, and every single year, dude, in the playoffs, you just get smoked
just
by
doesn't
LeBron.
matter. Yeah,
you
it
get
just doesn't
swept.
matter.
Bro, the Toronto Raptors, dude, were getting
The LeBronto Raptors?
Bro,
is what they were called for a
would
while?
have like 50-win seasons, dude. And then they would just see LeBron in the
smoked.
playoffs and get swept.
That's why they made the trade.
He was telling them their plays. He was like, no, you're supposed to be there on this play. Because I know
That's-
he's going to pass the ball to that guy, and then you're going to try to...
That's
like,
why
he
they
was
made the
literally
fucking Kawhi
like...
trade.
And so people hate him, you know? People fucking hate him for that because...
But that's really
it's
what
like-
it is with Drake, I think, too.
I think that's what it is because
100%.
if you think about it a lot, and I think Kendrick has a bit of that resentment. Like I said,
100%,
Kendrick is a standalone, incredible artist, all-time artist. He's someone who's in the GOAT debate for a lot of people.
I mean, Kendrick had bars about Drake from before he was ever signed to Drake.
all-
Kendrick was
2013.
on a track with
what I'm saying?
Drake initially on Take Care, talking about how he envies Drake and how he kind of
He put me
looks
onto
up
the
to
game.
Drake.
He
And
taught me.
you know what I mean? Like
80% of records are demographically by female. Like
He-
it's super deep. You know what I mean?
You know, so it's, anyways, I think it's kind of normal. I think if you're competitive, if you're a rapper, we're competitive. I'm
no
a
choice.
battle rapper. I'm ultra
we're
competitive.
gonna get into that.
You know? So if you're competitive and you're a rapper and this guy is just outdoing you at every turn, he sells more albums every time, more people listen to his shit. You have, like, if you're Kendrick, for example, Kendrick's a very different example because he's one of the guys that managed to stand out in the Drake era, but he was never the number one guy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's never been the number one guy.
Exactly.
His moment of being the number one guy was the Super Bowl. Like, if you want to say Kendrick was ever number one in rap, it was after Drake dropped Hard
That
Part
was the
6.
culmination.
And
That
Kendrick
was
did
the-
the Super Bowl, dropped GNX. Like, that part
Yeah.
is literally the only part in, like, time where you can argue. And even then, that year, Drake still outstreamed Kendrick throughout the year.
And also, you also can't ignore the fact that he's number one in that moment because of Drake.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well,
let's not get away from
That's
this
why I
shit.
said
let's
out
not
of
get away.
the
Yeah,
five number
100%.
ones that Kendrick had, like, you know, there's Not Like Us, which is this. There's Euphoria, which is this. There's Luther, and then there's Humble, which is a banger.
And once
then
again,
there's
those
Taylor Swift.
tracks, I don't believe any of it. First of all, Kendrick broke all the records on Spotify when he dropped Not Like Us and when he dropped those diss tracks. And he broke only the Spotify records. He didn't break any Billboard records. He
YouTube
didn't bring any
Music.
iTunes records. He didn't build. He was
And
only
not
breaking
only
Spotify
that,
records.
not
So-
only that, but he wasn't actually breaking Spotify or Apple Music.
Dude,
when Drake dropped, when the Iceman project came out and the stream happened, and the end of the stream is him saying, "Oh, it's 3 albums, not one,
Yeah.
guys." Like, I tried for a
Actually
good
broke
almost
the-
20 minutes
Yeah.
to get his music playing on Spotify, and it continually was like, no. Like, it's
Bugging the fuck
broken.
out.
Yeah, it was bugging.
Like,
Yeah, it
it's
was
not working.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Sorry,
It's-
the whole world's trying.
Everybody's
We're
trying to
fucking
do this right now.
swarmed.
Yeah.
But that's, to me, like, everything we're talking about just gives me back to the Drake Hove thing, because Drake I think it's on Room for Improvement, he had a bar about Hove, and he said something along the lines of, like, if Hove is Jordan, I guess I'm cool with Pippen until I go to the coach and say I want to do more scoring, I'm through assisting, Like, and Drake always had Drake, unlike everyone else of his peers, of his peer group who entered the game around his time or a few years after or whatever, whoever you want to call Drake's peers, from the Wale's, from whoever, you know what I mean? Like, they all had their sights set on, I'm gonna be a dope rapper, I'm gonna be whatever. But he was like, Hove is the guy. Hove. I'm gonna be better than Hove. No one else matters.
Yeah, no. Well, dude, it's not only that. I think he had other people. Like, I think he's
He had Kanye too.
Well, I was about to say he ended up beefing with all his idols.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He ended up because he got so
He
great.
said it on Take
that
Care.
it's- yeah.
When idols become your rivals.
Yeah, and
when,
that was-
when
dude, that was-
you meet Mike, but
that
you
was
got to AI him for your
almost 15
survival.
years ago. Think
Back
about
to
it,
the
dude.
Mike, Jordan, Hove. Drake's been positioning himself
think
since
about
the
that,
beginning to go to Hove.
Think about how long Take Care was. What, 2011?
And the shit I'm talking about is before that. So he had the Hove is Jordan bar. I'm cool with Pippen, but and then on his first album, he comes on and he says, "Yeah, and you make your idols become your rivals, and you make Mike, but you got to AI him for your survival." It's just like he's been, you know what I mean? He's been. That's why low key. That's why Jay and Kanye made Watch the Throne.
I was just gonna
I
bring
don't
that up.
doubt it,
Yo,
yeah.
we're in alignment, bro. I was just gonna bring that shit up for real. Yeah.
But that's the thing. And I think Drake is especially bitter about the industry because of that shit. Because I think he was like, Drake praised Joe Buttons early in his career.
big
Big
time.
inspiration. Joe Buttons decided to start dissing him.
Yep.
I think Drake was hurt by that. Same thing with Kanye. He worked with Kanye, wrote songs for Kanye,
yeah.
wrote some of Kanye's big songs.
That's a fact.
And Kanye stabbed him in the back, you know? He was like, what the fuck? And now this Jay-Z shit of Jay-Z putting Kendrick on the Super Bowl to do this whole shit. You know what I mean? Like he probably
Jay-Z
feels
told
like
him that on
holy
Take Care
shit.
too, right? He said to him
They're
on
gonna
the
come
song,
for you,
bro.
with
They're
some-
gonna come for you.
Crazy.
The fucking the
It's crazy that it was
handshake,
him.
da, da,
Dude.
da.
It's
But-
crazy that it was
It's like
him.
the fucking
that
mafia,
goes
bro.
with what
It's
you're
like the
talking
fucking
about.
mafia,
That's
bro.
my point. It goes with
I'm
what
gonna
you're talking
drive you
about.
to
I
the
think-
restaurant and
Yeah,
I'm gonna put the
facts.
bullet in the back
That's
of your
I
head.
really
think
what it
Drake.
was. When he said they're gonna come for you, he meant the industry,
Drake's
and
a
he was him.
Canadian kid who didn't realize how gigantically huge he would like.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, I think Drake at a point was wide-eyed. You know what I mean?
course.
Like Drake told Kanye that he had a child secretly, and he had this whole Adidas thing going,
dude,
and
I think
Adidas
Drake is
and
legitimately like what people say that he's soft. I think he's legitimately like a good guy. Like he wants to trust people, he wants to help people, and I
what
think
did he
that's
say on Janet? Shut the fuck up. How long y'all gonna call it soft until
Silk.
Yeah.
it's silk? I keep quoting Drake today. I'm turning back and yo, y'all got me
that's
going.
fire.
Right now.
You know about that. But yeah, so it's
The boy.
It's yeah, I think he's goated up. I think after this Iceman album, after this, we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see
I'm
what he
super
does.
curious to see what's gonna happen next
But,
with Drake. It's literally like it's the. I mean, now Hove kind of tried to get in the conversation as well, as far as like responding.
sure is dropping an album.
Hove is dropping an album because he
100%.
changed his hair.
Yeah.
Every time Hove has ever changed his hair in his career, nerd conspiracy shit. But like, listen, bro, if y'all really get me on my knowledge shit, nobody in the city really want to get up here and fucking debate me. I mean, I guess my lovely brothers.
I want to
in arms
debate you
here.
about it, but honestly,
Everything.
I wouldn't even
About
debate
everything.
anybody about like you probably have way more historical knowledge of music than I do. Like you're much more musically inclined. I'm very
Yeah, I'm a nerd.
rap writing and like
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
know
for
is
sure.
really
Yeah,
just
yeah,
that
for
you know
sure. You're a nerd
way
of a specific.
yeah. Like even rap, I listen to
attribute
rap, but
stand.
I listen to all types of rap, you know. But what I know very well is what I do essentially is like, you know what I mean? Like it's that's what I know, you know. I'm not
for
like
sure.
a big musical.
I wanna ask you a question to segue into us talking about battle rap, because we ain't gonna do this whole thing and not talk about battle rap.
Fair enough.
And that wasn't a great segue, but the great segue is this. Earlier we were talking about Rick Ross, and we was talking about like, you know, like legitimacy in hip hop, and you know, you can't be out here making drill records if you're not doing drills or like whatever the case may be, right? Rick Ross talked of like he's a fucking drug kingpin. Shout out to all the rappers in Montreal who are clearly the Pablo Escobar of Montreal, but you guys have day jobs. But anyway, that's not the point. How come in battle rap, it seems like there's so much more of a pass? I mean, listen, even me, my first battle was the concept battle against Witness at Festival Districts. It was a concept, healthy, non-healthy, whatever. But my first real battle, actually, you and Steve judged along with one of the dudes from Rain Man from Hit Story Makers.
You
And
won
when I
that.
battled VIP, you were
won
on
that.
stage with Trevi also. And I had gun bars. I'm not gonna fucking shoot people. I mean, I might. You never know. Let's keep it battle rap. But like in battle rap,
Go stream play right now.
go stream play.
He's on his R&B shit.
But like, why in battle rap? It seems like even things that are huge angles in battle rap, like if you look at American battle rap, like Arsenal being a bus driver for he was a bus driver.
so he's
so
not a
like,
Grape Street
Averb.
I don't even think that's true. I don't
Averb's
think he's
mom
ever
is a
driven a bus.
lesbian. DNA's mom's retarded. Like, but all these things are schemes and angles that have gone on for a long time. Certain things in battle rap and even battle rap personas, and it's been debunked. It's not like Averb's
it's
mom
not true.
wasn't a
Yeah.
lesbian,
No, it's
but
not
it
true.
still persists.
Yeah.
It's something that you can still jump on that angle. It's like, why? What is the difference in battle rap when it seems like it would be more allowed in music, where it's just like creative liberty?
Context.
Whereas in battle rap, it's like a one-on-one a cappella. Who's gonna write better? But I'm gonna write a bunch of shit that isn't real.
I think it is. I think it is more accepted in rap than I think. There's a lot more people rapping about shit that they don't do in actual rap than in battle rap. Like I don't think the majority of, but like I did a lot of gun bars in my time battle rapping. You know, obviously I'm not shooting people. You know, but I'm a big gun guy. Like you know, I go shooting. I like guns, but obviously I'm not a fucking mass murderer. Allegedly,
I'm a serial killer.
Yeah, you know,
you never know.
Breaking news.
Allegedly.
You know? Breaking news.
But yeah, like I think I've been criticized. Like everybody I've ever battled has told me, hey, you don't actually shoot guns. You're not actually a gun guy. Like you know what I mean? Everybody has. That was the biggest critique I got at the highest level. Once I got to the highest level, was we don't believe that this way. Even though honestly, of the people I've battled, I'm probably the
guy who actually does
the guy
shoot
who
guns.
does actually shoot the best out of these.
Fucking
You know what I mean? But I don't have the look or persona or. You know, like I don't come
Believability,
across,
quote unquote.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, like when Geechee Gotti says he's gonna fucking
Exactly.
shoot you, it's like, yeah.
And even in Montreal, when Feezy or on my rap politique, when we're talking at like when Feezy or just the people in general found out where I was from and who I grew up with and what I would, you know, like it kind of gave like a he's kind of allowed to do that now, you know? Or like when I battled Am I the Don and I actually dropped bullets on
shells?
and people were like, oh shit, like it kind of like I kind of fought for that, the right to do that. So you're right, you're gonna get away with but if you keep battle rapping and you start doing big battles, they get a lot more scrutiny, like in terms of like King of the Dot. Everything that happens on King of the Dot is super scrutinized. Like, you know, like I don't even know if King of the Dot fans like battle rap, bro. They just want to complain about fucking everything, you know?
Like everybody
So
else.
at that point, you're gonna
No
hear
one's
it.
ever
You know?
happy.
On a battle that you clearly won, people are gonna be complaining, we don't believe that this guy has guns. For me, I think in battle rap, I think it's cool. Like I think you can talk if your writing isn't like I don't want to hear you talk like a tough guy. Because doing gun bars and talking like a tough guy
Are two
is
different
not the
things.
same thing.
Yeah.
You know? If you're like, I'm gonna run up in your house and fucking kill your family, then I kill your daughter. Like if you're talking on some shit like that, it's just like, okay, like this is just some garbage bully rap that's not, but
And
if you're,
also, let's just fight right now. But anyway,
Yeah,
that's just,
well,
that's just my
that too,
take on it.
that too,
That's
yeah.
just my take on it.
Yeah, you can't battle
but if you're doing clever shit, you know, like dude, was it Jeffrey? I told him, let one buck on your cap like Jägermeister. That's crazy, dude. You know what I mean? Like that's a clever bar. That's not me being like on some. That's just me doing some really clever, like some clever wordplay with guns, you know. And bro, if you're mad about that, you could be.
But
you
I
know?
think, but to go back to your question of why it's more accepted, and I don't know which way I feel, because you're right too, where it is. I mean, it's super prevalent in studio rap as well, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think for me, at least for me personally, when I'm watching a battle, I'm kind of willing to forego the fact that, okay, maybe this particular guy doesn't look like he busts guns, but we all understand what this is. It's one guy against another guy whose writing is better, who's going to come up with a more creative scheme and the more
Theatrical.
so like we could kind of so I could kind of forego that for the performance sake. Whereas with studio rappers, it's like you're not just recording a song, you're building an entire identity around
Branding
this
and
this
marketing
brand of
and-
That's
this
a very
gangster,
fair- that's
you
a
know?
very
so
fair
so for
point.
me, it's a little harder to swallow. Pause in that aspect.
yo.
Just because. You know, you're like about like again, no bad. Like
was
if
crazy.
Chrome's busting out the gun bars, he very will clearly tell you, yeah, I'm not a fucking serial killer, guys. Obviously, it was a fucking clever bar, you know.
Yeah.
But like we're to bring it back to like a Rick Ross again, where it's like he made his whole identity about being someone that he's clearly not this person. Like to me, it's just I don't know. I can.
But that's
You know?
it's a very good point that you bring, because also music, we consume music very differently than we consume battle rap. Like when I consume battle rap, it's
Yeah.
to see who's the better writer.
Exactly.
Who had the better idea. Oh, this
Exactly.
guy had a really good good angle. And that comes back to what you're saying before. The best angles I've heard in battle rap have been fake, but not just fake like you did this and it wasn't true. Like so fake that it's like everybody knows that it's fake, but it's so funny and it's so, you know what I mean? Like those are the best angles in battle rap. So we know that it's a performance type of thing. And the like when I go into a battle every time, my only concern is to outright the other person. That is my only concern. I don't care if I get more reaction. I don't care if people like it in the bit. I only care that if we break it down after the battle and you tell me, yeah, well, I think he won. Okay, well, I said this, I said that. I'm very technical about my approach with battle rap. Some people are more comedic. Some people are more, everybody has their thing that they do, but I think we all understand that it's a performance. Yeah. And music, we consume it more as like, dude, music influences our life. Like we listen to music that we relate to, right? Exactly. If you're listening to Take Care, you're listening to Marvin's Room or whatever, you're thinking about a breakup you had, an ex or whatever at the time
as you said it, I knew exactly who I was thinking
about. At the time you were listening to them.
In the wind,
yeah, I mean,
that's where Drake and Driving.
How you mean, bro?
You know what I mean? So that's, but if for some
you
reason
picked up, I know he's not around.
But it's important.
Come on,
for that
I'm
song.
just saying you could do better.
Come on.
Yo,
For that to hit, you have to believe Drake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For that to hit, you have to believe that he's actually been through that. You have to believe that he's actually. If you were like on some, he's just making a song to make us like, you know, if you didn't. So I think that's why music, it's more important. You're right. It's more important to be authentic in your music because people are going to relate to it. People are going to have some of their memories related to that music, or some people are going to listen to you because they relate to what you're saying. And if it's not authentic, it's going to be harder to sell. Some people can still sell it, but it's going to be a lot harder to sell. Battle rap is more like...
And not to be the old man father of the group. You have kids?
No.
Okay, so not to be the old man father of the group, but
he
like...
might have some sons in his battle rap world. I'm
some
surprised you didn't say that.
shit.
I'm shocked.
No, listen,
Continue.
I don't want to be... I'm not trying to pay out, that's why.
But honestly...
Allegedly.
But being the old man father at the table, like I'm also looking at it from the standpoint of, because my son is getting, my oldest is getting to the age where he's consuming a lot of this shit now. And I caught him listening to King Von, and I'm like, nah, no, I'm sorry, but you cannot listen to that shit, bro. First of all, it's mindless fucking filth garbage. But like, I'm also realizing that even at his young age, how he's looking at that, consuming that and thinking, that's cool. That's what I want to be. And I have a fucking problem with that, bro. Especially if it's coming from somebody that, like, obviously King Von was really about that. So I'm not talking about Von in this instance, but like when I'm hearing a rapper who we can very clearly tell that that's not who this fucking guy is, and you have kids listening to this shit. You work with youth. You have youth listening to this shit and aspiring to this shit.
When these youth be showing me some of the music that they listen to, especially these young boys,
it's crazy.
They be
like,
listening to some stuff, and I'm like,
what are you guys saying? Like,
and they're like naming. It's like they're obviously I didn't kill Krome because he's here alive. But like, let's say I killed Krome in real life, or somebody next to me kills Krome, and then like I made a record to his boys, and like I'm naming his fucking full government name and his like auntie and where it happened, and being like,
but hold on, here
your boy got shot at 9 p.m. by the bridge.
And then you get arrested and locked up and say racism. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
The amount of rappers that have been locked up because they told on themselves in a song about something that, like, you know, gave like an incriminating
at some
information.
Point, it's funny because it makes me think of two things. At some point, you can't be sincere with what you're saying in your music if you're really Pablo Escobar. Don't rap about it,
bro. Listen,
because
there's a whole
it's gonna go badly.
I can talk from experience. Well, not from people I know that I grew up with personally. A lot of people I grew up with are either dead, in jail, and I can tell that some of these guys, okay, were doing some shit. They would literally do some shit, okay, whatever the shit may be, allegedly violent, very bad shit, for the sake of making a song about it.
That's crazy.
For the sake of upping the score.
That's crazy.
Like, these are rappers beefing, right? You know, like two rappers are beefing. And for the sake of, in my next track, I'm going to talk about how we're up on the score.
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys an update.
Because, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this was an actual thing. Like, it's an actual, wild. Like...
Which is
these
the thing
people
in
are
Chicago
already living,
and
obviously
places,
not living...
Like crazy places.
Exactly. All over Canada, 100%. This shit is happening, you know? And these people are already, you know, doing whatever they're doing. But there's actual beefs, you know, that happen that are like, people are upping the score. And it's like, fuck, dude.
It's funny that you guys are what you guys are talking about because it made me think of something you guys were talking about earlier, which was like suspending disbelief. Because like, you know, when you watch wrestling, because to me battle rap is like a wrestling, it's a wrestling theatrical.
I've never.
I mean, I was when I was younger, but the thing about it is I can no longer suspend my disbelief of the fact that there's a scripted narrative happening behind the scenes that I'm unaware of. I respect the athleticism and the fact that it's difficult and it's etc. But like I can't suspend my disbelief. I know that who's gonna win is predetermined and it's a whole steez. But I can do that when I go watch a movie and like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator and he's shooting people. I don't think he's really shooting people in real life. I do the same thing with battle rap. Yeah. I suspend my disbelief because if this guy was catching the kind of bodies he's talking about in his bars, he wouldn't be on stage rapping. He'd be in jail.
Yeah.
Or he'd be fucking shot up. Like people that we've known growing up, etc. Right? But I feel like it's more difficult to do that for music.
Yeah.
Because in some way you're, like you said, you're like living with and through the music.
Yeah.
It's influencing you a lot more. Like you watch a movie, the movie ends, that's it. You don't listen to the movie in the whip or when you're on the fucking bus on the way to work. You don't like that. You don't watch a battle 100. How many times do you listen to the Drake album?
I don't know. Budget.
How many times have you watched a specific battle that much in such a short time span?
Yeah, no, never. Yeah, no. So you don't. That's why we don't consume it the same at all, and we don't have the. And you know, to a degree though, like I said, I've done a whole bunch of gun bars. Initially I didn't do gun bars.
You didn't.
The first
when you
battle,
were Krome with a C.
Yeah, the first
before he was Krome with a K.
The first battle I did gun bars was against Am I the Don because he did a whole bunch of gun bars, and I was like, in my head, I was like, yo, I actually go to the range and shit. Like I actually fucking, like I know we found out that he knows about guns too, but
I mean,
that's another story. But
MI holds your head, man. Free MI.
Free MI. But it was, I actually spoke to him, dude. Anyways, we'll talk about this off cam. But that's an off cam conversation.
No Patreon.
But yeah, all that to say, that was the first time I ever did gun bars because that was going to be my thing, you know? Like I'm going to drop the gun
funny
shells.
Because when I battled
like
VIP that time for the first time, like he was the bully of DMS at that time. He would pocket check people. He'd get all of it. So I told myself going into the battle, like when Feezy does the coin flip, I'm going to fucking grab fuck a coin flip, bitch. That was my first bar. Is grabbing the fucking the coin and literally screaming in his face, fuck a coin flip, bitch. I came to bark on you. Like out the gate just to get the crowd. And that's why I was in his face. And I was because I was like, I need to take your power.
Steal your soul.
Take your superpower from the crowd.
Yeah.
Because you're going to use that superpower against me and I need to deflate it.
Well, dude, at that time, you know what? Me, it wasn't even that. At that time, I legitimately thought gun bars were corny. I was still very new, like in my battle rap. Like I legitimately thought, like, oh, why should we shouldn't be rapping about?
Shouldn't
like,
have to do that.
Yeah, like we shouldn't
You're
be.
gonna be the
rapping
Will
about
Smith of battle rap.
Yeah, even in that battle, like
Will Smith don't even cuss.
Even in that battle, I allude to the fact that like talking about shooting your gun isn't impressive. You know, like that shit doesn't impress. Like type of thing. Like, and I had dropped the bullets, whatever. All that. That was the first time, and then I took a liking to it, dude. I'm like, you know what? I like guns. I'm someone who likes guns. I love that shit.
Mikey, I think he likes
so
it.
Making bars about guns is just easy, you know? So what I was going to say is I did a lot of gun bars. That's not all I do. It's far from that, but I do at least one every battle. But it's never like, I'm never doing the battle like, yeah, I'm really hard. I'm from the street and I'm doing this. That's not what I'm talking about in the battle. You know, I'm talking about you're a loser. I make more money than you. Your bitch is ugly. Like that's what I'm saying during the battle. And then I'll drop when I hit you with the talk about I'll shoot him, you know? So you can tell me, well, dude, you're not actually going to shoot him. Congratulations,
funny
dude. You're right. I'm not actually going to shoot him.
Always been very
and I'm not actually going to smash his girlfriend.
You've always been very like...
Yeah?
The iconic shell drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that was when it started. That's where it all started.
Of that. You know, for the battle rapper Fresco.
Of course.
To me,
like personally, like I know Fresco. Like
he must be dope as fuck.
I know personally. Like we've had
interactions because
interactions.
Of
we
your
used to
into the
game.
thing. He
Yeah,
battled your best friend Thesaurus.
Yeah, my best bud.
But who we actually talked about, I think, when Freddie was here. Maybe?
Yeah, because he was shitting on the Drake album.
Facts. Shout out my homie Thesaurus. But
you guys don't want me to talk about this. Or
But also, don't shit on the Drake album. Yeah.
it's gonna get dark for him.
Canada.
It's gonna get very dark
See, now I forgot why I was even brought that up.
because you're shook about what I'm gonna say.
What was
Or am I
what
gonna
was
take
that?
these secrets to the grave?
Oh, I haven't decided just yet.
Listen, I enjoy secrets.
No, I don't have
No,
secrets.
all right, no secrets.
I will just say the only thing I'm gonna say. I don't want to talk about Thesaurus. The only thing I'm gonna say is that Thesaurus has opened the song. Okay, the opening lines of the song are, "Dearest diary, I'm here perspiring these tears that tire me."
Oh my goodness.
I don't remember the rest, but it's as bad for the rest of the song. So, anyways, I just want to say I'm not trying to hear a Drake review from Thesaurus ever more.
Ah, that's hilarious. I kind of forgot what I was talking about for a split second.
Dearest
So
I don't know why that reminded me of Too Tired.
Oh my God! Shout out to True, aka Jane Noir.
That's true.
Holy, I'm like a what is I'm like a.
You know what's funny?
The
I heard
deflated
that.
bicycle and too
Terrible.
tired.
I heard that somewhere else at some point, and I was like, "Yo, this guy's biting J. True." I was like, "Say a word." I heard someone else in battle rap say that.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out.
That's
Started a
shout out.
movement.
Shout out to Wally.
Shout out.
man.
I already know, man.
Oh man, I'm so annoyed that I actually really did.
I think you were
sincerely
just about
forgot
to
what I
say
was
that
saying.
you're really impressed with my battle rap career, and you think I'm the greatest of all time.
I think that's what he was gonna say.
I
too.
think
Oh
he
no, I
was-
was
yeah,
talking
I
about
think-
Fresco
He's like,
because
actually,
Fresco
speaking of
battled.
Fresco, I think you're way better than him.
It's great that you said that. Thank you, brain. Remind your brain when you forget something and you remember it. Train your
Emerson
brain to
Kennedy
remember.
said I'm a cross between Big K and Fresco. It's the best compliment I ever got in my life.
Facts.
best
And that's what I'm talking
compliment
about. Like Fresco had this very sort of because Fresco was early talking about gun bars.
Yes, and he was getting
and
a
he was
lot of
getting
shit for it.
destroyed
Yeah, a lot
initially.
of
Like
shit,
he was
yeah.
he was on grind time
Talking
doing
about
fucking
guns,
gun
yeah.
bars, and he was like a. I mean, he was a fucking
He was a little
white
pretty boy in a
guy
hoodie,
from
yeah.
fucking like
Yeah.
he looked like he was from a fucking decently nice neighborhood, and he had a relatively nice watch on his wrist, and he was out here talking about he's gonna shoot people in the fucking face,
But saying spazzing, like bars.
like
you know?
spazzing,
Yeah.
Like, and it's really funny because like one of my favorite performances is actually against Thesaurus, and like Thesaurus also loves that battle. Like you can see in the battle he's reacting and shit.
Oh, yeah.
But like,
That's one of his best performance of all time.
oh yeah, for sure, bro.
It's one
Team
of the
full
best
of animals, Star Fox 64. Oh my fucking god. Oh my
But yeah, no,
god.
Fresco's a monster. Like I said, I know him. Like I said, we're not friends, but I've interacted with him a bit out of battle rap. We used to play Super Smash Bros. When it came out. That's
He was
gangster.
streaming online at a point doing the
don't
video
know.
game thing.
I don't know.
But when we're talking about battle rap, first you were Krome with the C. Eventually you dropped that because of I think the guy from Sweden or whatever the fuck he was from.
I tried to battle that guy for the
name, eh?
for the name rights. Yeah,
Bro,
he
that's
didn't want
so
to battle.
crazy. He didn't want the smoke, bro. My question to you is why the transition into the French shit? And also, like, this is a two-part question.
Yeah, dude.
Why
wait,
the
because I'm not
transition
gonna
into the
remember
French
second
shit?
part.
And then also, what the fuck happened to English battle rap in Montreal?
Okay, actually, I'll remember about those. Why the transition to the French shit is pretty simple. I was done battle rapping. Like I did, like when I got it. Okay, I'll give you guys a quick. I'll give you guys the 2-minute long story in 2 minutes. When I started battle
Give
rapping,
us a short TED talk.
yeah, I'll give you guys the short TED talk. My entry into battle rap was based off the fact what we were saying before. I was a rapper. I used to record tracks with my friends. We used to go to the studio, this and that. And even if you listen to my tracks from back then, which I don't know if you can find, but
I remember a video of you, Didas, and Tyrell, not Tyler.
Survival
and
of
it's
the
at
Fittest?
Fucking, it's in
Yeah.
the where the
Survival of the Lyricist.
the
is
shit
what
with
it
the
was
black and white
Yeah.
by Mont Royal somewhere
Yeah,
or some
the
shit.
graffiti
Yeah.
shit. That was one of our first videos, actually. So, anyways, I was doing even in that verse, for example, I was always very combative, something to prove. I'm
Confrontational.
better than y'all. You know what I mean? I was always on that cocky, confrontational.
Talking shit like you do in real life,
always,
bro.
Always. I've always been like that. And so, then there was some guy. I wish I could. Corey, shout out to you. I forget his last name. Anyways, some guy I have on Facebook who was I don't even know how he started following me. It might have been through music. It might have been through him liking one of my tracks or something and following me on Facebook. He was in this battle rap league that was online. It was like you film yourself. It's a cappella battles, but it's like you film yourself and submit your rounds basically. And it's a back and forth battle, whatever. And he was in a league like that, and he was posting his videos, like his rounds. He would post them on his personal Facebook. So I was looking at this. I was like, what the fuck is this? You know, like this is kind of cool. And he was actually kind of barring out, you know, and he was doing gun bars and this and that. You know, I was like, oh, this is kind of sick, you know? So I hit him up about it. And he's like, yeah, dude, you'd be really good at this shit. He's like, you should try it. So I'm like, okay, bet, let's do it. So it was, shout out Bars Battle League, dude. Got to shout them out. So I joined the league, like a Facebook group, essentially, you know? And so it was, shout out to Tom Bland, who runs the league. He really runs it like he puts time and effort into actually like making matchups, and they have actual scoreboards, like wins and losses. And they have like,
crazy.
It was actually like a whole thing, you know?
Back when battles were judged.
Yeah, every battle was judged on Bars. To this day, they hit me up sometimes. Do you want to judge a battle? I do it sometimes when I have time, you know?
That's fucking dope.
And gotta never forget where you came from, you know?
You know?
But so yeah, all that to say, I had like a run on that league, you know? I went like undefeated or whatever. I did like 5 battles or something like that. And then shout out to Slick Sterling, who tagged me in one of Feezy's posts.
Sterling.
When
shout
Feezy was
out.
starting DMS, he's like, tag people who have bars or whatever, you know? He's like, tag someone you know who has bars, who would be good for battle rap, because he wanted to start a battle rap league in Montreal. So Slick tagged me on that post, and so I'm like, okay. I'm like, to me, the way it was happening, because he had seen, I was doing the same thing now, posting my rounds on Facebook that I was doing on this league. He had seen that shit. And like the timing for me was just like, it just made so much sense. Like now I'm like the best guy, one of the best guys on this online league or whatever. Now there's an in-person league where I could actually try it, like in Montreal. Like this is perfect, you know? And because there was no way for me to get on a GZ card or a King of the Dot card or anything like that. So I hit up Feezy. I sent him bars. I sent him actually, I think, one of my rounds that I had done for the, you know, he's like, send me like a video of you rapping like bars or whatever, you know? So I sent him like one of my rounds that I had done, and right away he's like, okay, yeah. He's like, we're booking you a battle, definitely, you know? And so the rest is history. First DMS battle ever was me versus Suicidal Clips.
Suicidal Clips.
And he showed up freestyling, dude.
Not a good look.
It was not a. It was
Well, you got
bad for him.
fucking
It was
murdered.
it kind of sucked because it made the battle kind of suck, you know, because of that.
Yeah.
But for me, it was great because he got fucking washed, like to a degree that.
Well, there's no better way to boost your confidence.
Yeah,
for a first
exactly,
battle, right? Like,
exactly.
yeah.
So for me,
that was the thing at DMS. He always had like somebody that's either gonna bomb,
Yeah.
come out really dope, or
it's gonna be. So yeah, that was
Chicken
amazing.
noodle.
That was fire. JJ Mulo, shout out. That was my second battle, I think. Second or third? Second battle was JJ Mulo. And yeah, so I went on a run on DMS, basically, went
Nice.
undefeated on DMS.
Facts, because we
And,
never battled. Continue.
This guy, this Kendrick Lamar type guy.
This fucking guy.
Little
here.
guy, you know?
This fucking guy.
This
Hey,
little
watch
guy.
Out, watch out with the fucking short jokes, man. Be easy, bro.
Oh, shit.
So what was I saying? Yeah, so
friendship.
I did my run on DMS.
Yeah, battled all the towners. Fucking went a
Yeah,
little
then
bit.
they brought in
went to
the
Detroit.
DNA.
went
Shout out to
Toronto.
Feezy for that. That was a huge move for Montreal, bro. Everybody was at that battle. Dirtwork was there. All the old heads. Bender, rest in peace, Bender. There was Low. Like a lot of people were at that fucking at that battle. It was a big moment for battle rap in Montreal, and that was like also my like. I don't remember if it was before the DNA battle that I got approached or right after. Shout out to Millie Mills, who goes by February Cold now.
Yo, we gotta get Feb in it.
I'm happy I'm not forgetting these shout outs. He hit up Gully. He was at my first battle or my second battle. Might have been the JJ.
Suicidal Clips. He judged
Was it the
you in
Suicidal Clip ones?
Yep.
Okay. And he hit up Gully or Organic.
See, I'm a nerd.
He's
I
like,
told
there's
you.
this guy from Montreal. No. You guys have to give him a shot. You have to get him on. So I did a couple of battles after that. They gave me a GZ in Detroit. I went and go do a GZ in Detroit.
It's like one of the meccas of battle rap.
That was such one of the best battle rap crowds ever. Like it was weird, bro. It's Detroit. You know what I mean? Like we were in the hood, literally in the hood. I never felt more in danger
I
and
was gonna ask you,
safer.
that shit feels dangerous. Like,
Not really, dude. People were all super nice. It's almost like, obviously, Detroit, there's some very rough neighborhoods, and we were in some rough neighborhoods, but it's almost like there's an understanding that, like, we don't want any of that bad energy here. And, like, so despite the fact that, like, I'm out of town, I'm in Detroit, you know what I mean? Like, bro, we were a bunch of white guys from Canada in a white Wrangler that we rented, bro.
Hey, man.
Driving to, it was the most ridiculous shit,
I heard
bro.
there was a battle rap event around here.
Dude, at customs, they're like, what are you coming here for? I said, I'm coming for a battle rap. Dude, I swear to God, they took us out of the car. They brought us inside just so all the guys could laugh at me. Ha, it's Eminem. He's coming to do a rap battle. I swear to God. I swear to God. They were calling me B-Rabbit. They clowned the fuck out of me, bro. They let us in, you know, but they thought it was hilarious that I was coming to Detroit.
Wow.
They saw us, a bunch of white guys pulling up in a white Wrangler. They're like, you're going to Detroit to go do a rap. I'm like, yeah, I swear.
so they're literally thinking like, this guy's gonna get
prend pour
fucking
qui, ce
killed.
gars-là, man?
Literally killed.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
So all that to say, when I got to the, like at first, like I'm out of town for the first time. I'm, you know, like it's battle rap, dude. It's pretty fucking aggressive and hostile. Like, you know, I'm going in and I don't know anybody. I don't know how these people are going to receive me. You know, like this league I've never been on. So I was kind of, you know, like worried at first, but no, it was the coolest people, dude. Like honestly, shout out to Bar Wars, which was the league out there. Shout out Sean, the owner. I think he still runs it. And it was like a Bar Wars King of the Dot event type of thing. So anyways, battled there. Had a few battles on King of the Dot. Had some big battles on King of the Dot too. I battled on Blackout. I battled on Gully versus Gannick. So at some point, and
You
then
battled Chilla Jones.
yeah,
Shout out Pendulum Inc.
Shout out
Mickey
Chilla.
Facts. Let's go.
shout out Chilla. Chilla was one of the coolest people I met in battle rap.
He's hella
And
chill.
He's really cool. Hit me up after the battle. He's like, dude, got you if ever you need anything, you need advice, or you need like really down to earth,
Love.
super cool guy.
he's mad cool.
And also a very real guy. Like I remember Chilla, this is always been a big thing for me because I think majority of people in the building that day had given Chilla the battle. They thought he won the battle. To this day, I think I won the battle, but that's irrelevant. I remember after the battle, him saying we were in the hotel with him and Cortez, and him telling me how he had told Cortez before the battle, this guy's kind of worrying me a bit. Like this guy really writes, you know, and like I gotta kind of, and just hearing that from Chilla Jones, you know what I mean? That was one of my moments where I had already battled JC, which was another one of my idols, and just hearing that from a guy like that, I was kind of like, I think I'm kind of done what I think I kind of,
You reached the
you know what I mean? I battled
shit
Low
to do.
Pesci in Montreal. I went to Toronto. I had big battles with guys that JC versus Chilla Jones was like one of my greatest battles of all, something that really got
you've
me
battled
addicted to
both.
battle rap. And I battled both, you know? And I had great battles with both of them. And it, like to me, that was kind of like, this is not going to get better. Nothing about battle rap gets better. I'm never going to do this for the money because there's no money in it. Yeah. And so this is not going to be, you know, like my career in battle rap is not going to get better than this. And I'm also,
there was a cap.
I'm also capped at my potential too, right? I'm very realistic about, I'm the white guy who does gun bars.
Yeah, bro. You're not gonna be
people-
loaded Lux.
No,
You're
exactly.
Not gonna
People
fucking
can,
be murder
the
Mook,
only
bro.
reason I made it that far is because I'm a really good writer.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
to be on my own dick, pause, but that's, do I have to pause being
I don't
on my
think
own
you have
dick?
to
I don't
pause
have
your
to
own dick.
unpause.
New
Don't think
rule.
so.
Play.
You don't have to pause your own dick.
I don't need to pause my
Play?
own dick, so play on that.
You're single.
I think that's what carried me so far, you know? That's what made it so that, and that's kind of why I battled Chilla Jones. That's how it was branded. It was the writers type of thing, you know? But there's only so far, like you have to do more, you have to be way more performance based. And dude, I was the type of guy who was preparing battles the week of, like the day before I don't have a third round, you know? Ask Link, shout out to Link, my boy Link. You know Link.
Of course. The puzzle mind.
The Puzzle Mind. We drove up to, I don't remember who else was in the car. I think John A might have been there.
You guys were driving to Niagara Falls. I know this story, no?
Toronto.
Toronto. And
Driving
you
to
didn't have a
Toronto.
third round.
Yeah.
And Link fell asleep. And when he woke up, they were in Toronto and he had his third round written. He wrote it while driving.
Yeah, I
in
was
his
the one
head. He
driving
was
up to
writing
Toronto and I was just
over and over
spitting and and it was my best round of the battle. It was literally like one of my best rounds I've ever spit on King of the Dot. And so anyways, why did I bring that up? I just wanted
We
to
were
flex.
talking about your parcours and
Oh no, I
getting
wanted
into
to,
French shit.
I wanted to say that I was very last minute. So there was no avenue where I was going to become like, dude, I was very aware that most of the people I was going up against were trying a lot harder than me. They had longer rounds than me. You know what I mean? Like, I battled Sharon, dude. I showed up with 2-minute rounds. I think he had 7-minute rounds. He smoked my boots. You know, there was so much more. But he's a professional, like, you know what I mean? He's like I was just the guy that, like, I'm a good writer, so I was able to make it there. But I wasn't spending enough time on these battles. I wasn't putting in the work that I would have needed to sustain that. And I didn't want to, because I did what I wanted to do. You know? So anyways, that was my 2-minute that became 15-minute to say that. That's why I tried French battle rap, because at that point I kind of said, and then there was, I tried French battle rap before that, but then there was COVID as well that kind of affected battle rap everywhere really negatively. But yeah, I kind of said, okay, now I'm like retired. After that, I did a couple Canadian battles, you know, like I went around BC, shit like that, to battle like up and comers in Canada.
Yeah, for sure.
I did like my retirement tour, you know? And then I'm like, okay, I did pretty much everything I wanted to do. Visited a whole bunch, like, you know, I was really lucky. I got to go to England, to go battle.
That's fucking
so I was like, okay, I did which was for King of the Dot as well. So I'm like, okay, I got to do everything I wanted to do. And then I'm like, why not try it in French? Because I'm French. Like, my family is French, right? Like, initially I grew up speaking French. I went to English school. I listened to rap in English,
It just made sense.
I had never rapped in French, but it was like, I can probably do it. I wasn't super confident that like I would be, anything crazy, but I was like, dude, if I made it that far in battle rap in English, like, it's not like I'm going to be a bad writer in French.
I would argue you've been doing your second language than your first language.
I would argue you've been more well received in French than in English.
Well, dude, of course, because I came into the French scene. Like, bro, every battle, I did 4 or 5 battles in French. They were all voted battle of the year. Every battle I did in French was like a classic, you know?
Facts.
And that's just because of the fact that I had a whole career in battle rap, battled some of the biggest names of all time, and I got to use all that baggage to come in and be like, this is my first battle in French.
But honestly, for genre Québécois, that's a big deal, because this guy is
of course.
You were like entrenched in the Americana of it, and then now you're coming over to the French side. So that's a big deal.
And for them, that's part of the reason I was so well received, I think, is there was a certain legend around me.
Exactly.
Like, I had accomplished a lot, but I wasn't pulling in that many views. Like, English battle rap in general, besides URL and like the big King of the Dot battles, wasn't pulling as much views as the French battles.
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Unless you were one of the huge names, you weren't pulling in crazy views. So it's not like I was a superstar or anything. I just had accomplished a lot in that field, which is a niche field. But on the French side, they kind of saw me as a superstar. He's the guy who went to King of the Dot. He's the guy who battled Chilla Jones, who battled JC, who battled DNA. Like, Sharon, like, he did that shit, Like, he did shit that, like, because all these people watch King of the Dot, and they all, so I was received almost like I was a superstar, kind of. Like, when I battled Factual at Word Up 15, he tells me like, so on a superstar en place. That's how he starts because I feel that's kind of the impression people, that's how I always present myself,
that was at obviously. I was there for that.
That's how I present myself. As, like, that's kind of my brand
Freddy
too.
That night.
Nice.
But that's my brand, but they bought it. You know what I mean? So that helped a lot.
Yeah,
like, my brand was, I'm the fucking greatest. You know what I mean? Like, and I truly believe it. So it's easy to sell. You know what I mean? There's nobody, like, Basic says some funny shit, we should battle. I have not an ounce of fear in my soul about battling anybody in the world. Like, I'm legitimately convinced that I can beat anybody in a rap battle. And I just carried that over into the French scene with the same confidence that I had from like all the shit that I accomplished.
Yeah, for sure, it got taken well. That's not a fucking lie.
Yeah, and people just received it super well, and that's what permitted me. And now the legend starts, right? Oh my God, this guy, his first battle versus Skywalker, it's a classic. So now the legend starts. Now it's like, oh, this guy's already. Then I do my second battle versus Factual at Bay Mathieu. It's a classic, dude. What a fucking. That's the battle that of my battles that I've rewatched the most times of my life. English or French, me versus Factual is the battle that I can press play, listen to the whole battle. I don't cringe at anything, because sometimes I listen to myself. I watch my performances, or I don't listen to my opponents because I think they're trash. That battle from A to Z, I think, is fire, dude. But yeah, I was blessed, blessed with good opponents, blessed with good opportunities.
No, you've moved up for sure, and you've done kind of the same thing in the French shit. You've gone all the way into France now. You've done like
there's nothing. I mean? Once again,
quote
that's
unquote,
why now I'm
left
saying
to do.
yeah. That's why I'm saying I don't really battle anymore, because before France, I didn't battle, and they came and see me and they said, "You want to do a 2v2? You and Raccoon?" And like, yeah, of course, let's try it. I never did a 2v2. You know, that was something that seemed interesting to me. So I tried it. Then I'm like, okay, now there's really nothing else to do. Oh, you want to go to France? Yeah, okay. I guess I can go to, yeah, I have to do that, you know? I went to England to battle in English.
You went to France
and
to
this
battle
is
in French.
My biggest flex.
Not bad still, you know what I mean?
My biggest flex in my battle rap career has to be is that, once again, in my opinion, these battles weren't judged, but I went to England and won a battle in England in English, and I went to France and I won a battle in France in French against two of the guys. Hulk in England wasn't like a super big name, but he was good, you know? And Durtaf in France is like one of the biggest
best.
names,
Yeah,
like one of
sure.
like ever that they've had, you know? So to me, that's those two things, and battling Lopeshi, beating Lopeshi, those are like my
Shout out Low. We gotta have you on.
shout out
We will
Lo,
have Lo
such
on.
a legend.
Absolutely.
Such
Yo.
a legend. Those were like the biggest, you know, like moments in my battle rap, I think, for me personally, as to like what I accomplished.
I think we're gonna have to for sure have a part 2 to this, bro. Like because
Yeah, we were
we've
talking
been
about
going
we were talking
crazy,
about how
bro.
this
I already said we're
conversation
gonna
could
do
go
it.
on for
Steve,
like
Steve,
10
you were
hours.
out of the room, brother. We're gonna do a Hustle Podcast Glock Party collab episode. It's gonna be fire.
Mans has been dropping gems. We
been
technically, from
talking
what I
for-
can see from the cards, bro, we might not have that much time left.
Card them.
The card dem. I don't know if there was anything tech or you wanted to get into.
There was a bunch of shit,
I don't
but
know
at
if you
this
want to
point,
tell anybody
you know.
to go fuck themselves, or if you want to.
I'm a nice guy, dude. I mean, people I don't like already know I don't like them. I don't need to. But no, man. Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll do it again soon.
100%, bro. But
And,
before we go anywhere, bro,
We have the one segment.
we have a segment.
Okay.
That we
creepy.
have
Let's do
it.
every guest
like,
come
holy
in,
shit.
and we literally
We're really
we
set this
only
up.
have about
When you said in
6
2012
minutes,
on your
7
Facebook
minutes
feed.
max, bro. So every single time we have anybody up here, we have them drop a gem. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the gem. You're gonna drop it on the gem, and you're gonna drop the gem. And what the gem is a short, less than 2 minutes max type of spiel. Out of all the shit we discussed, if there was only one thing that you could leave people with as Krome or as Maxim, if there was one thing you wanted to say to people, like it could be whatever. It could be fucking advice. It could be fucking positive. It could be corny. It could be whatever, bro. It could be fucking Iceman is the greatest. It could be whatever the fuck you want. But if there was one last thing, or last gem, drop the gem and then drop a gem.
All right, I know what I'm gonna say. It's easy peasy. Been meaning to tell people this because they don't know. I think everybody's too caught up nowadays in trying to impress people, in trying to show people that they're living a good life. I get caught up in this. So my gem that I would drop is make sure your life is good. Make sure you're bettering your own life. Make sure you're working towards bettering your own life. Make sure you're not worried about showing people how good your life is going, but you're actually worrying about how good your life is going. If you guys knew how many times I've wanted to buy a Rolex, because I will buy a Rolex eventually.
Me too. I said this to my
Just
girl
to
last
show-
night. I swear to God, I said this to my girl last night in bed.
Just to show that I can. You know what I mean? That's the only, I want a Rolex. I'm a watch guy. I'm
me
going to
too.
have a very expensive watch collection eventually. But there's part of it that's ego. There's part of it that's, I want to show that I can have it now. Yeah, I have this $1,000 PRX, but I could have the $20,000 Rolex. Like I can, like I can move like that, but I can't. I could, but it would be a stupid decision.
Really
and
stupid
it would
at
be
this point,
fueled
yep.
by ego, trying to show people that I can do something that even if I could, you know what I mean? I shouldn't be concerned about. And I I'm using myself as an example because I think it's important to be critical of yourself. I can use that as I can make every excuse in the book for myself because I love watches. I'm actually a watch guy and I can give myself every excuse for that. And I'm aware that if I try to do it right now, it'll be just a flex and it'll be for the wrong reason. So my gem is do it for the right reasons. Try to better your life to better your life. Stop worrying about your next Instagram post. Stop worrying about showing people that you're living such a good life. And just be smart, man. Be smart because I learned that too late, I think, in my life. Like I've always been in a position where I was either making good money or I was doing, but I was very like, I got to show that I got this going on. I got to show that I got that going on. And ever since I stopped doing that, holy shit, bro.
The level up.
The level up, dude. Because now I'm actually focused on what matters. I'm focused on actually leveling up.
Yep, facts.
I'm not worried about
Facts.
if people think that I'm leveling up. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about if people think
big.
I could afford. I'm still gonna flex. When I cop I'm probably gonna cop the Omega before the Rolex. But when I cop my next watch, I'm still gonna flex it. I'm still proud of what I'm gonna accomplish. But yeah, I'm gonna do it in the right way, and I'm gonna do it for the right reason, because I'm gonna be proud of accomplishing that because I like it, not because I want to show that now I'm able to do it and that, like, you know, I want to make it an ego thing and show that, oh yeah, look at me, look where I'm at, look what I'm doing, you know? By the time I get there, by the time I do show it, by the time I do show it off, it won't even be on my mind.
Exactly.
Like, it'll just be like, look at my
Dropping
nice
gems,
watch, you
bro.
know?
Before he drops gems in the watch, he had to drop the
Facts,
gems.
that's bars.
Because
That's
at the end of
bars.
the day, perception is not necessarily reality. Reality is reality,
Facts.
motherfuckers. Hustle
Facts.
Podcast, Chrome. Thank you very much for coming on
Text,
the show.
man. Take
It
us
was
out of here,
fire.
bro.
Absolutely, man. You already know what it is. You guys know what to do. We're gonna keep the momentum going. We are on a roll, ladies and gentlemen. We are on a roll. So we're gonna keep it going. Thank you guys for tuning in, and go peep the clips, man. You already know what it is. Hustle
Subscribe,
Podcast. We
baby.
out to this. Yeah.
Welcome to the hustle. If your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle, this is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. Under pressure, never break or fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow.